and refreshing. Room temperature or chilled, a pure water would drink. The temperature by Pure Water is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 out west in Montego Bay.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, Jamaica's Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clarke, has been appointed Deputy Managing Director of the IMF.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has described his Finance Minister's elevation as historic.
The development is a tremendous gain for Jamaica and the Caribbean.
And the leadership of the world's multilateral institutions are praising Dr. Clarke's appointment.
2 cabinet ministers guarded about being leading contenders to replace Clarke as finance minister.
And the PMP says it wants a clear transition plan following Dr. Clarke's departure from the government.
We urge the government to provide immediate clarity on the transition plan for the Ministry of Finance.
In news from the rest of the world, Kenyan police officers in Haiti have not received their full pay for 2 months.
Over half of Ukraine hit by Russia's deadly overnight barrage of missiles and drones.
In headline sports, 8 Jamaicans in action in the opening day of the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Lima.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke has been appointed Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. The appointment has been praised by the leadership of several of the world's multilaterals. Dr. Clarke will join us.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, what's your reaction to Dr. Nigel Clarke's pending departure as Finance Minister? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, former Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips joins us to reflect on the historic nature of Clarke's elevation to Deputy Managing Director of the IMF.
And at 7:13, Jamaicans have been awarded Chevening scholarships to pursue master's degrees in the United Kingdom. We'll hear some more of their stories.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and on the Nationwide app, available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Monday afternoon, it's Monday, August 26, 2024.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. In a historic move, Jamaica's Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clarke, has been appointed Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. The revelation came Monday morning in a press release from the Office of the Prime Minister. As we hear in this report from Siobhan Campbell, Dr. Clarke is set to take up the second highest post at the multilateral, effective October 31, 2024.
The IMF plays a significant role in the world economy, promoting global financial stability and monetary cooperation in service of its 190 member countries. In making the announcement, Prime Minister Andrew Holness described his finance minister's elevation as historic.
It is to the benefit of Jamaica and the Caribbean for one of our nationals to serve in such a consequential global position. The development is therefore a tremendous gain for Jamaica and the Caribbean. The elevation of Minister Clarke is demonstrative of the depth, strength, and capacity of my administration.
No citizen of Jamaica, the Caribbean, or Central America prior to Dr. Clarke has ever before served at this level in the fund's 80-year history. Dr. Clarke replaces Deputy Managing Director Antoinette Saye, who goes off on retirement in September. Similarly, Prime Minister Holness is now seeking to replace Dr. Clarke in the critical finance and public service portfolio. Mr. Holness says this is well in hand.
The government has identified successors to Nigel in both his ministerial and parliamentary responsibilities, and there will be a smooth transition in both capacities. We will provide updates in due course, and the public can expect policy continuity and a continuation of the economic achievements that this government has worked so hard to secure. Today, however, I wholeheartedly congratulate Nigel on today's announcement of his pending appointment as Deputy Managing Director of the IMF.
IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva describes Dr. Clark as an exceptional public servant and policymaker with proven leadership in institution building and economic crisis management, who has stewarded his country's economy to a stronger and more sustainable position. She says since 2016, he's been the IMF's chief counterpart on successive and historically successful programs for Jamaica. These include an extended fund facility, a precautionary standby arrangement, and most recently a precautionary liquidity line plus resilience and sustainability facility. The IMF boss says Dr. Clark is leaving the country with robust economic fundamentals. Dr. Clark is also the Member of Parliament for Northwestern St. Andrew. Before entering representational politics, Dr. Clark served in the Upper House of Parliament from 2013 to 2015. Minister Clark's public sector career includes on the boards of the National Housing Trust, the Port Authority of Jamaica, the Heart Trust, NSTA, and the Bank of Jamaica. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
And the leadership of the world's multilateral institutions has joined local leaders in praising Dr. Nigel Clark's elevation to Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. The fund's Managing Director, Kristalina Georgieva, announced Clark's appointment shortly after 10 Monday morning. Ricardo Brooks reports.
The IMF's managing director announced to the world on Monday that Jamaica's Nigel Clark would join the leadership ranks of one of the world's most powerful financial institutions. Ms. Georgieva says Dr. Clark is an exceptional public servant with proven leadership in institution building and crisis management. She says Clark has stewarded Jamaica to a stronger economic position. Several leaders of the world's multilaterals immediately agreed with her. The announcement was met with almost universal praise. Writing on X, Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, praised Dr. Clark's appointment as a testament to the talent within the Caribbean region. She says Clark's appointment sets a powerful example for the people of the Caribbean. President of the Inter-American Development Bank, Elon Goldfein, described Dr. Clark as one of the most successful and experienced policymakers in Latin America and the Caribbean. Mr. Goldfein says Dr. Clark will be a great asset to the IMF. In congratulating Dr. Clark on his elevation, Vice President of the World Bank Latin America and the Caribbean region, Carlos Felipe Jaramillo, says the finance minister has been an invaluable partner of the bank. He says executives at the World Bank are excited to continue working with Clark in his new role. Vice President of the International Financial Corporation, the IFC, Alfonso Garcia Mora, described Clark's appointment as a great choice. The IFC is a subsidiary of the World Bank Group. Paraguay's Minister of Economy and Finance and the former head of the country's central bank, Carlos Fernandez, says Clark's elevation stresses the increasing role of Latin America and the Caribbean in designing solutions to address global economic, social, and environmental challenges. On the local scene, former opposition leader and finance minister Dr. Peter Phillips congratulated Dr. Clark on his appointment. The former finance minister says Clark's appointment is testament to his own achievement and will provide Jamaica and the Caribbean with a welcome resource as the region continues to strive for sustainable economic growth. Several Jamaicans described Dr. Phillips's message to Dr. Clark as statesmanlike. Jamaica's ambassador to Washington, Audrey Marks, has also praised Clark's appointment. Ricardo Brooks for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, as Dr. Clark prepares to depart the government, he leaves behind a 6-year record as Jamaica's finance minister, as well as the Member of Parliament for Northwest St. Andrew. Mahiri Stewart has more in this report.
Dr. Nigel Clark was raised by two outstanding public servants. His father, Neville Clark, was a Supreme Court judge, and his mother, Mary, is a former social planner at the Planning Institute of Jamaica. She also served as Jamaica's first children's advocate. Dr. Clark's success in the public and private sectors was the fruit of his studies at St. Richard's Primary, Monroe College, and the University of the West Indies, Mona. Dr. Clark graduated from UWI with a first-class honors degree in mathematics and computer science. He was the best in his cohort that year across the UWI in the entire region. He won the prize for the best degree with the highest marks among students in the Faculty of Natural Sciences across all campuses of the university in 1992. He went on to win a Rhodes Scholarship and earned a Doctor of Philosophy degree in numerical analysis from Oxford University. Dr. Clark entered politics in 2013 when the then opposition leader, Andrew Holness, appointed him opposition senator. At the time, he served as the chief operating officer of the Musson Group and the chief executive officer of one of its principal Jamaican subsidiaries, Facey Commodity Company Limited. Prior to this, Dr. Clark served as chairman of several public sector entities, such as the National Housing Trust, the Port Authority of Jamaica, and the Hart NSTA Trust. He also served as a director of the Bank of Jamaica. In 2016, he served as Ambassador Plenipotentiary for Economic Affairs in the Office of the Prime Minister following the JLP's victory in the general elections of that year. Following the resignation of the JLP's Derek Smith as MP of Northwestern St. Andrew in January 2018, Dr. Clark would succeed him in the constituency. He won the seat on the JLP's ticket, beating the PNP's Keisha Hale by 1,648 votes in a by-election on March 5, 2018. Dr. Clark became Jamaica's 13th Minister of Finance on March 26, 2018. The Office of the Prime Minister highlighted as his signal achievements the substantial improvement in Jamaica's macroeconomic fundamentals, central bank independence, the establishment of the Fiscal Commission, the establishment of a multi-layered disaster risk financing system, and improved public body governance and rationalization. Under Dr. Clark's 6-year tenure as Jamaica's Minister of Finance, no new taxes were introduced to finance the government. Dr. Clark was also known for his outside-of-the-box budget debate presentations. There were memorable moments, such as using an abacus to explain the progress of the public sector compensation review. As Dr. Clark steps away from his role as Jamaica's Minister of Finance, who will succeed him? His are very big shoes to fill. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Two cabinet ministers seen as leading contenders to replace Dr. Nigel Clark as finance minister have been guarded about their potential elevation to the second most powerful post in the government. Speculation is mounting that Prime Minister Andrew Holness may look to the Education Minister Phillips Williams or Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon to take control of the country's finances. In 2018, Mrs. Williams was the first woman to serve as Minister without portfolio in the Finance Ministry. She also served as State Minister under Dr. Clark and his predecessor Audley Shaw. Asked about her possible elevation, Williams declined to comment.
You know already that I will not make a comment on that.
Phillips Williams, Education Minister. Minister Williams is a chartered financial analyst by profession. She has an MBA in finance from the Wharton Business School at the University of Pennsylvania and a bachelor's degree in economics from Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And the Information Minister, Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, says she doesn't know what the future may hold, but she's currently focused on her present job.
You know, I respect our Prime Minister a lot. And I know that even with taking this role, the Prime Minister said, you know, I want you to do this if you feel you can give it your all. And I said yes to him after thinking it through with my family, and agreed to do it. And I believe that we have the right Prime Minister. I think he has a wonderful vision of Jamaica that I will help in whatever way I can to execute. And so, you know, I can't tell you what the future brings. I do not have a crystal ball. And when I talk to God, he doesn't usually respond in that way. And I ask him every day, just show me the way. He has not said that yet.
Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, the Information Minister, she was speaking on Cliff Hughes Online. Dr. Dixon holds a bachelor's degree in economics with first-class honors. She also has advanced degrees in government and international studies. You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
Value Drug Pharmacy offers curbside pickup and delivery of your branded and generic drugs. WhatsApp your prescription to 876-881-6695. The time by Value Drug Pharmacy is...
It's 15 minutes after 5.
Rent-to-Kill Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rent-to-Kill Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rent-to-Kill is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 out west in Montego Bay.
Drive Hyundai. Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 4.99% interest rate. Yes! Shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 4.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance, and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 4.99%. Conditions apply.
Continuing the news, the opposition People's National Party PNP has called for a clear transition plan following the announcement that Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark is departing government. Dr. Clark has been appointed Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. In a statement on Monday, the PNP congratulated Dr. Clark on his appointment, describing his elevation as a notable achievement for Jamaicans on the global stage. But PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell says his departure raises serious concerns.
This development raises significant concerns about the future of Jamaica's economic management and leadership. Dr. Clark's departure comes at a critical juncture for our country as we face serious economic challenges, including the spiraling cost of living and the negative growth impact of the recent hurricane.
The PNP General Secretary says the government must give clear plans as to how the administration will address what it says are the ongoing economic crises in the face of Dr. Clark's departure.
The timing of Dr. Clark's departure also brings into question the government's ability and commitment to addressing the ongoing economic burdens facing the Jamaican people. We are constrained to ask whether his move at this time signals the abandonment of a sinking ship, leaving the Jamaican population to grapple. We urge the government to provide immediate clarity on the transition plan for the Ministry of Finance, how it intends to manage the current economic pressures, and what strategies will be employed to mitigate the impact on the most vulnerable in the society.
Dr. Dayton Campbell, General Secretary of the People's National Party.
And there are mixed reactions from the public this afternoon to Dr. Nigel Clark's appointment as Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund. Our reporter Robian Williams canvassed the views in Dr. Clark's Northwestern St. Andrew constituency and the general public. She filed this report.
A big loss for the country. That's how some Jamaicans see the appointment of Dr. Nigel Clark as Deputy Managing Director of the IMF. However, they're wishing him well on his soon-to-be top job.
The finance minister, I've really admired him. I'm very happy for the step he has taken. Growth has been significant. He is strident. He is brilliant. He is balanced. We'll miss him dearly, dearly. He has contributed significantly to the development of Jamaica, so we're really going to miss him, but wish him all that is good because he deserves what is good.
It is going to be a big loss to our country. He's a brilliant mind that has been recognized internationally. There's no doubt about that. I don't know how he'll be replaced or by who, but I wish him well. All a path of growth. We have to embrace it and just move on.
Well, I think that it would at least open up the position to somebody who may be a bit more innovative. Basically getting some fresh blood in, which I think is usually a good thing. And I believe that also the change that he's doing is going to be very beneficial.
He was a very good finance minister, and I am sure that the government has made the proper arrangements to fill his place. It's a position, I think, that's well deserved.
It's definitely in a way on the election prospects next time because they've lost probably the most prominent single minister that was out there, the one that everybody viewed positively as doing a good job. So it's going to be rough.
Others say the appointment is historic for the country.
This will do well for the country. I think it promotes the island, or little island of 3 million persons. To me, it's a step in the right direction where a son of the soil can be used to act in a position of such. That's what we strive for, and we strive for the highest.
Well, I think it's good because it's a promotion, and I'm sure that Jamaica will benefit eventually.
But there are others who are questioning his appointment.
Find out what is the reason for him to leave. Is it a financial issue or what? If he's remunerated properly and decided, then he wouldn't have gone to the other side, would he?
This is his country, and he ran away to the IMF, who would suck so much from us already out of our coffee. I don't understand. I would love to hear from him, but that not help we. That not help we, It's good for him individually, not us, not the country.
Meanwhile, some of the citizens our news team spoke with shared their frustration with the country's current state of affairs.
2 carat, what, 500 and 800 carat. You can't afford that and a 2 carat in the summer. You can't afford that. I don't think you reach £1.5 and a $1,200 for that. You understand me?
As far as me see, them not doing anything for us. Minimum wage is $15,000. What can that buy? For a person working only $15,000 for minimum wage, bus fare, light bill, water bill, everything else. Me see people I make them report about $50,000 for light bill only, and you're making only minimum wage. How we survive? You make 1 2 little shilling in your pocket, one man come and kill you, and at the end of the day, what happens? They're not doing anything for us.
Robeanne Williams for Nationwide News.
In other news now, Education Minister Phillips Williams says Jamaica achieved a 33% pass rate for mathematics during the CAPE and CSEC examinations. The minister officially released the CAPE and CSEC results during a media conference on Monday. She says there has been an improvement in 13 subject areas for Unit 1 and 16 subject areas for Unit 2.
For this year, of the total CAPE subject entries, 43,661, 95% were sat with an average pass rate of 90%. Unit 1 had 31,783 subject entries, of which 30,136 or 95% were sat with a pass rate of 90% as well. For Unit 2, of those who sat, we saw a pass rate there of 91%. We did see improvements in 13 subject areas in Unit 1 and 16 subject areas in Unit 2.
Mathematics continues to be a weak subject for CSEC students. Only 36% of students in the Caribbean region who wrote the paper achieved the passing grade. This year's sitting of CSEC in the region saw a 69% pass rate overall. Minister Williams says 18% of students in Jamaica received pass marks in 5 or more subjects. She notes that math continues to show fluctuations in exam grades.
The data show that there have been fluctuations in the regional performance in key subjects, specifically for math and English A. So for 2024, Jamaica's math pass rate for public schools was 39%, and for all Jamaica, meaning public and private and other, that figure was 33.4%. When compared to the regional pass rate of 36%, Jamaican public school students surpassed this figure by approximately 3 percentage points. But when you look at the all Jamaica, which is public, private, and other, there was a decline of approximately 2.6%.
Favour Williams, the Education Minister.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute. Hundreds of Kenyan police officers leading an international policing force in Haiti have not received their full pay for 2 months. This is the latest complication in what has been a rocky start to the security mission in the war-torn Caribbean country. The first Kenyan officers deployed to Haiti arrived in June as part of a multinational security support (MSS) mission funded largely by the United States. There are now around 400 Kenyan police in the country. In a statement acknowledging delays to payments, the MSS says officers could expect the missing funds to hit their bank accounts this week.
Russia battered much of Ukraine on Monday, firing scores of missiles and drones that killed 4 people and injured more than a dozen in attacks that President Volodymyr Zelensky described as vile. The barrage of over 100 missiles and drones began around midnight and continued through daybreak. This appears to be Russia's biggest onslaught on the nation in weeks. Ukraine's Air Force said swarms of Russian drones fired at eastern, northern, southern, and central regions were followed by volleys of cruise and ballistic missiles. Explosions were heard in the capital, Kyiv, while power and water supplies in the city were disrupted by the attack. Ukraine's allies have been urged to provide long-range weapons and permission to use them on targets inside Russia.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, the country's finance minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, has been appointed the Deputy Managing Director of the IMF.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has described his finance minister's elevation as historic.
The development is a tremendous gain for Jamaica and the Caribbean.
And the leadership of the world's multilateral institutions are praising Dr. Clark's appointment.
The PNP wants a clear transition plan following Dr. Clark's departure from government.
We urge the government to provide immediate clarity on the transition plan for the Ministry of Finance.
That's PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app, available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
Back to school is easy with JN Money. Send or receive money transfers with JN Money from now until September 30 for a chance to be one of 4 lucky winners of $25,000 each month. Conditions apply.
It's back to school time, and Access Financial Services is making it easier for you to get full marks. Whether it's for school supplies, uniforms, or tuition fees, we've got you covered with loans up to $3 million. Enjoy reduced interest rates, and here's the best part, no guarantor needed. So get ready to tackle the new school year with confidence with a back to school loan from Access Financial Services. Get the financial boost you need to succeed. Apply at www.accessfinanceonline.com or call 929-9253. Conditions apply.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Rohanna Sudlow, St. Catherine High School, will be the first Jamaican in action on the opening day of the 2024 World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Lima, Peru. Sudlow will be in Flight 2 of the girls' long jump qualification, which gets underway at 9:15 tomorrow morning Jamaica time. Well, Jamaica and Peru are Lima on the same time, so it's 9:15 tomorrow morning. Both flights of the qualifying series will be contested simultaneously. At 9:40 a.m., Jamaica will go in Heat 2 of the mixed 4x400 meter relays with the likes of Nigeria. The girls' 100 meters first round heat is set to get off at 10:10 with Alana Reid in the third heat and Tiana Lee Terrelong in heat number 5. The boys' equivalent is set to get going at 11 o'clock with Gary Card in heat 5 and DeAndre Daly in heat 6. Also at 11 o'clock will be the girls' shot put qualification, where Shaquan Selburn Dunn will carry the Jamaican hopes, while at 11:45 a.m. the girls' discus qualification with Najada Seymour and Shamoya Morris. The semifinals of the boys and girls 100 meters will be run in the afternoon session, as well as the final of the mixed 4x400 meters relay, which will be the last event on the opening day of competition. Meanwhile, coaches, teachers and decision makers in sport will come together again when the Coaches Club takes center stage at the World Athletics Championship. Alric Swaby tells us more.
Organized by World Athletics in cooperation with the Global Athletics Coaching Academy, GACA, the Coaches Club enables the coaching community to learn in real time from the championship's experience. It provides an opportunity for coaches to gain insight from experts in the field, as well as network, exchange ideas, experience, and contact. As part of the program in Lima, an online panel will be held each day from August 27 to September 1, while an on-site symposium will take place on August 31. Titled Building the Bridge to Excellence, the symposium will involve presentations from a number of experts in the field. Among the featured topics are the elite athlete career pathway, bridging the gap between under-20s and the Olympics, and the coach and the task. Alric Swaby reporting for Nationwide Sports.
The West Indies will be looking to complete a sweep of their 3-match T20 international series against South Africa when they meet in the final game at the Brian Lara Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago at 2 p.m. Jamaica time tomorrow. The West Indies have already wrapped up the series after ticking off victories by 7 wickets and by 30 runs in the first 2 games at the same venue. Yesterday, the Guyanese trio of Romario Shepherd, Shamar Joseph and Gudakesh Moti produced superb bowling displays to take the Caribbean side to victory. Joseph and Shepherd took 3 wickets apiece, with Shepherd being named the man of the match.
First of all, winning the series was very important because that was one goal for us. My performance contributed to the series was, I'm happy also with that. So going forward, it's time now for us to look to go 3-0.
That's Romario Shepherd. That's sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Can you imagine getting a marketable skill for free? Your government has made it possible for anyone wanting to learn a skill to get free training through the Heart and STA Trust. Learn a new skill and expand your horizons.
The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is
5:32.
Everything you do with your JN Bank Visa credit card could be a win for you. Go shop win, dine win, travel win, or pay win bills with your JN Bank Visa credit card. Every time your purchases total $40,000 using your JN Visa credit card, you earn an entry to win. Every purchase you make adds up. Win weekly summer watch party kits of coolers and grocery vouchers so you don't miss the runnings. Or be one of 2 monthly winners of $100,000 cash. Don't have a JN Visa credit card? It's easy. Visit jnbank.com today. Win with your JN Bank Visa credit card. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Phillips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Hey, did you know that the Jamaica Stock Exchange has a loyalty program?
No, what at?
Well, as a JSE Loyalty Club member, you are now able to earn rewards when you shop at any of the participating merchants island-wide.
But I don't own any stocks and I'm not a member.
No problem, man. Join the program by downloading the JSE Loyalty app, activate your account, and start racking up points with every purchase. Redeem points for goods and services at any participating merchant or choose to convert them into stocks.
So what if I already have stocks?
That's even better. It means that you are pre-enrolled on the program. You only need to download the app and activate. Start your portfolio, grow your portfolio, join our loyalty program, and earn, save, or invest. The Jamaica Stock Exchange, where loyalty builds financial performance.
St. Elizabeth! JPS has collaborated with your local hardwares to bring you some incredible discounts on selected building materials from now until August 31. Participating hardwares include Levin Electrical, Arc Manufacturing Limited, and Camric Hardware. Come, get your lumber, roofing products, and much, much more. Check the press for details or the JPS social media pages at My JPS Online. Don't miss out. Offer ends August 31. JPS, working to restore and strengthen our breadbasket parish.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
We've been a part of everyday Jamaican life for over 25 years. From paydays to birthdays, unexpected emergencies to anniversary celebrations, the supermarket checkout line, or paying a bill or taxes on time. Our fast, secure debit network provides reliable service so you can always depend on Multilink. Jamaican and proud, fast, secure, everywhere.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Campbell.
Good afternoon, Sir Hughes.
Good. Well, cover story this afternoon in what's being hailed as a historic move. Jamaica's Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, has been appointed Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. The revelation came Monday morning in a press release on the office of the Prime Minister. The IMF plays a significant role in the world economy, promoting global financial stability and monetary cooperation in service of its 190 member countries.
In making the announcement, Prime Minister Andrew Holness described his finance minister's elevation as historic.
It is to the benefit of Jamaica and the Caribbean for one of our nationals to serve in such a consequential global position. The development is therefore a tremendous gain for Jamaica and the Caribbean. The elevation of Minister Clark is demonstrative of the depth, strength, and capacity of my administration.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, no citizen of Jamaica, the Caribbean, or Central America prior to Dr. Clark has ever served at this level in the fund's 80-year history.
Dr. Clark replaces Deputy Managing Director Antoinette Saye, who goes off on retirement in September. Similarly, Prime Minister Holness is now seeking to replace Dr. Clark in the critical finance and public service portfolio. However, Mr. Holness says this is well in hand.
And the Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, describes Dr. Clark as an exceptional public servant and policy maker with proven leadership in institution building and economic crisis management, who has stewarded his country's economy to a stronger and more sustainable position. Nigel Clark is also the Member of Parliament for North West St. Andrew. Before entering representational politics, Dr. Clark served in the Senate from 2013 to 2015. He joins us now. Good afternoon, Dr. Clark.
Good afternoon, Cliff. Good afternoon, Siobhan.
My first question, why are you abandoning Jamaica?
Hi, Cliff. I know you would want to start with the bouncer questions. I wouldn't describe myself as abandoning Jamaica, Cliff. It's certainly bittersweet in terms of this sort of new challenge that has been presented to me. The nature of the challenge and Jamaica's own position in the world and our ambitions to be a leading voice in the world are considerations that would have sort of gone into an sort of analysis of what this represents, or
Dr. Clark, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
But your job isn't done. You're what, just about 5-6 years into the job as finance minister. You have been leading the reform, structural and other, other initiatives that are so critically important given our recent history since independence. And the country is just at the place where we needed the job to be done. It's not time to go, is it?
You know, the thing with public policy and with public life, the job is never done, Cliff. There's always more to be done. What is important is that in the time in which you serve, you move the ball forward considerably. And I believe that over the past 8.5 years, because prior to my appointment as Minister of Finance and Public Service, I was Ambassador of Economic Affairs, where I, as the Prime Minister mentioned, as Christina mentioned, I would have been managed the relationship between the government of Jamaica and the fund, and would have negotiated key agreements during that time. Over those 8.5 years, I believe I've done my best to move the ball forward, and you know that is what each person who serves in public life needs to do.
But certainly, Dr. Clark, there is a sense almost of loss that you're leaving the finance ministry at the time you're leaving it currently. Are you certain the fundamentals are there that you can leave knowing safely that the country is still in good stead?
Yes, absolutely. We have put in place institutional mechanisms. Of course, you know, institutions can be defeated by, you know, persons who are, bent on defeating them, right? And that job is therefore up to a vigilant public. But the institutions are in place to ensure that the contours of stability are maintained. We have an independent central bank. The government is not permitted to borrow from the central bank outside of cases of declared public emergency, and even then parliamentary approval is required. We have inflation targeting regime and monetary transparency. We have a fiscal commissioner and the fiscal commission that is empowered to keep the government on its toes as it concerns the fiscal trajectory of the country. And we, and in so doing, Cliff and Siobhan, the fiscal envelope in which each administration has to operate, ought to be one that is consistent with sustainable medium-term objectives.
For how long has this been in the works, Dr. Clark?
How long has what been in the works?
Your appointment as Deputy MD for the IMF.
Well, this has emerged over the course of just a few weeks.
As in?
Not something that was, yes.
Were you asked to apply for the job?
This is not a job that one can apply for.
So you were recruited?
This is a job where you are selected for appointment. I would have gotten a call, Cliff. I'd have gone about my business, and I would have received a call and that's how this began.
You received
literally a few weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
A few weeks ago. Sorry, what did you say?
3 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago?
Much less than that, a few weeks ago.
And having received the call, what was a clincher for you to say, I'm going to go?
Cliff, this is without a doubt, a very sort of difficult and decision to make. At the end of the day, the scale and the scope of the responsibilities, the complexity of the task and the nature of the challenge is such that it puts Jamaica into a position it has never been before. Mm-hmm. And this is a position that we have earned from our performance. And it is symbolic of what is possible, Cliff, if Jamaica continues to be disciplined in its approach, not just in the economic area, but in other areas. It speaks to the possibilities for the country. And it is very important for us to continue to demonstrate that our future is not fixed. We have the capacity as a country to shape our future and to bring about the future that we want to see. In other words, we have agency. And, had this been closeted and shut down, Jamaicans would never come to understand the full range of our capacity as a country. Mm-hmm. That it is indeed possible for people born in Jamaica, who have made their career in Jamaica, to operate at the heights of the global economy. I think there's a very important symbolically, if that opportunity exists, for ultimately Jamaicans to be able to see that those are indeed possible. And this is, I use the word symbolic because it's not limited to the area of economic life.
Yes.
We have the capacity to perform at a much higher level in every facet of life. And if we do, we are able to project power into the world.
Absolutely. Hold the line for us, Dr. Clark. We're up on a quick break. We'll be back. We're having our cover story guest, the outgoing Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark. If you haven't heard the news yet, he's on his way to the International Monetary Fund, the Global Multilateral, a massively important job as Deputy Managing Director. We're interrogating him about the decision. Stay with us.
If you are 40 and over, CCRP offers a world of benefits. Access to valuable health plans from Sagicor, discounted home and auto insurance from J&GI, and discounts from over 100 retailers and service providers. Enjoy wonderful tours, social events, and much more. Visit our website, ccrponline.org for details. CCRP, life to the fullest.
On Sunday, August 11th, in the quiet community of Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon, our entire nation was shaken by a brutal act of violence.
Gangsters mercilessly took the lives of 8 innocent Jamaicans, including a 7-year-old boy.
These criminals will strike again, destroying more families and more communities, unless we stand together to stop them.
If you have any information that can help bring these killers to justice, please share it with the security forces.
The government has established a reward fund of $25 million for information leading to the arrest and charge of
the perpetrators who committed this heinous act,
the facilitators who supplied them with arms, intelligence, and transportation,
and those who harbor and protect these criminals after the crime.
If you know something, please say something. Call Crime Stop at 311. MOCA at 888-6622847, NIB at 811, or JDF at 837-8888.
Together,
we will defeat gangs
and develop a culture of peace in our country.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Ministry of National Security.
The government of Jamaica has purchased brand new state-of-the-art buses to further enhance commuter experience, reduce wait times, comfortable seats, cool AC, and a smoother ride. Travel with the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport as they build a modern world-class transportation system to serve Jamaica even better. Join the new revolution in media, Nationwide 90 FM, for a live broadcast on Tuesday, August 27, 2024 at JUTC Portmore, hosted by the CliffViews online team. They will explore how the future of public transportation in Jamaica has evolved, bringing you more fuel-efficient, state-of-the-art buses with clean energy, making the investments for greater comfort during your daily commute while being able to track your buses in real time. That's a live broadcast of the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport's upcoming handover ceremony for the new 100 CNG buses on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is sponsored by the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport.
Public opinion.
Stop this foolish about this GLP and PMP business. We are a Jamaican.
Different people.
It's not a matter of a GLP or a PMP. I think it's more like where it is that you think you're comfortable, what support you can afford to make the country better.
Different views.
Most entertainers, they're not amenable to management, so the only thing that can ultimately structure them is the court and the prison.
Public opinion. The voice of the people at 6:25 p.m. weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Tune into Nationwide at 6:25 p.m. for Public Opinion, where the people's views matter.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
10 minutes going up to 6 o'clock. We're talking with the Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, on his historic appointment as a Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, effective October 31 this year, in a matter of 8.5 weeks. Dr. Clark, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. So you have been the country's Minister of Finance for the better part of 6 years, and we are just about a year shy of a general election. The timing is crucial. What would you say are the critical benchmarks that you have laid down over these last 6 years as Finance Minister that your successor can build on?
Cliff, the macroeconomic fundamentals today are the strongest that they've ever been in Jamaica's history. Our central bank reserves are higher than they've ever been, and materially larger than they were at the start of this administration. Our debt is on track by March of 2025, or even if you were to measure it today, but we don't tend to measure debt in the middle of the year, it's going to be the lowest in 50 years, 45 years to be precise. Inflation is back in the target range. Unemployment is at historic lows. The macro fundamentals are in the best shape in Jamaica's history over the last 50 years. That's a foundation on which a lot can be built. Macroeconomic stability is necessary for prosperity, but clearly not sufficient. What would need to happen is for us to maintain that indefinitely, and for that to not necessarily be front page news, because it's just something that we maintain and it's just something that households and businesses can rely on. Mm-hmm. And then we build on top of that, the human capital development, the infrastructure improvements, strengthening the social safety net, and so forth. So there's a lot to be done, and a lot that can be done. And the achievements to date can be leveraged to continue to improve the quality of life of all Jamaicans.
Dr. Clark, considering all that has happened over the 6 years that you've been at the helm of the Finance Ministry, do you have any regrets as you head off to an elevated position? Anything you feel that you've left undone here in Jamaica?
Why don't you ask for that closer to October 31st?
So you still have time to wrap up, is what you're saying.
Exactly. I still have time. So let's see what let's see. At the end, I'm fully prepared to answer those questions.
The opposition, in a statement on the news today, said that while they congratulate you for the achievement of being elevated to such a global position, they likened your departure to abandoning a sinking ship. How would you react to that? What would you say to them?
I think the opposition lost an opportunity to be, statesmanlike in a moment such as this. I am grateful for their congratulations, and many members of the opposition have reached out to me personally and sent written notes of very warm congratulations, noting the historic nature of the appointment and of the accomplishments that would have led to this appointment. And I'm grateful to all of those members of the opposition who have done so. I would say, Cliff, this is, politicking. If you go down to this is politics. It's not worthy of a response beyond what I've said.
And to your constituents of Northwestern St. Andrew, what would you say to them?
I would say that we'll have opportunity to certainly dialogue directly with many of them. We just had our Spark program town hall meeting a few weeks ago. I wish you were there. Very vibrant demonstration that community level engagement and action and activities very much a part of modern Jamaica. Each of the communities in Northwest St. Andrew came and made their presentation on the roads that they need to be fixed and so on. The work that has been done in Northwest will continue. The team that is in place, responsible for much of the work, is the team that will remain. So all of what we have sort of discussed, planned on, and all of that we've been working on will continue, Cliff. Continuity is the word. We're building a Jamaica where we focus on institutions and not individuals. Of course, leadership is critical and leadership is important. But what we want to make sure, and certainly my tenure as Minister of Finance has been one where I have been focused on institutional building, creating an institutional mechanism for getting things done. That provides a more robust country and a more robust society. Similarly, at the constituency level, the institutional fabric of the Jamaica Labour Party organization in Northwest St. Andrew remains intact, remains strong, and remains capable of fulfilling all of the objectives and plans that have been put in place.
In 66 days, you'll be around your desk in Washington, D.C., at the headquarters of the IMF, Nigel Clark. When will you effectively resign as Minister of Finance?
So there are, some critical objectives, achievements that need to be fulfilled, and some of them I can't be too specific about exactly when we'll be able to get them done. I know I'll be able to get them done before, but I need to accomplish those prior to vacating in that manner. But everything sort of needs to be sort of wrapped up by October, or in time for me to take up the appointment on October 31st.
Dr. Clark, certainly the IMF is not where you will end your days, and come what may after that, when you return to Jamaica in full, do you see yourself rejoining the political foray?
Shaman, one job at a time. I am still Minister of Finance and the Public Service of Jamaica, and I am absolutely focused on what the task that I have at hand. I have a full day of meetings tomorrow, a very critical one too, very important one for the country. I have meetings lined up next week as well, and important objectives, which you're going to hear about, and you're going to have in your program, I'm sure, to interview me on, things that we are working on to get done, in the days and weeks ahead. I am absolutely focused on that, not even right now on the job that begins on October 31st, let alone to be talking about something happening afterwards. It's one job at a time, one day at a time.
Well, as you prepare to depart, what has been your most satisfying achievement as Finance Minister of Jamaica?
You need to have me back when it's appropriate to answer a question such as that. My most satisfying achievement may be yet to come.
Oh, that's a big hint of something to come, big to come.
No, I'm just saying, just as a factual, just as a,
yes,
theoretically factual matter. So that question is best answered on completion. And if you agree to have me back on completion, I'll make myself available.
Sure.
But I'm sure that you're going to want to have me back between now and then, as there are important affairs of state that we have to continue and get done over the days and weeks to come.
Well, I would like to end by saying this interview that congratulations from me personally. I think this is a massive, massive achievement, not only for you, Dr. Nigel Clarke, but for Jamaica, that we are now at this point in our history when a Jamaican will be the Deputy Managing Director of a global financial institution, which is such a critical part of the global financial architecture. Yes, that is huge. And congratulations to the boy from Red Hills Road, St. Richard's Primary, Monroe College, UA, Oxford. It's just amazing. And congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much, Cliff. And thank you, Siobhan. Thank you for having me. And talk to you soon.
Yes. Take care.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's a cover story. The headlines at 6 are next.
Cover Story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Say hello to peace of mind and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan, and secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness today. Call 888-367-5433 for details.
The time by Guardian Life is
2 minutes after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening. With the headlines at 6, I'm Mahiri Stewart. In a historic move, Jamaica's Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke has been appointed Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. The revelation came Monday morning in a press release from the Office of the Prime Minister. As we hear in this report from Siobhan Campbell, Dr. Clarke is set to take up the second highest post at the multilateral effective October 31, 2024.
The IMF plays a significant role in the world economy, promoting global financial stability and monetary cooperation in service of its 190 member countries. In making the announcement, Prime Minister Andrew Holness described his finance minister's elevation as historic.
It is to the benefit of Jamaica and the Caribbean for one of our nationals to serve in such a consequential global position. The development is therefore a tremendous gain for Jamaica and the Caribbean. The elevation of Minister Clarke is demonstrative of the depth, strength, and capacity of my administration.
No citizen of Jamaica, the Caribbean, or Central America prior to Dr. Clarke has ever before served at this level in the fund's 80-year history. Dr. Clark replaces Deputy Managing Director Antoinette Saye, who goes off on retirement in September. Similarly, Prime Minister Holness is now seeking to replace Dr. Clark in the critical finance and public service portfolio. Mr. Holness says this is well in hand.
The government has identified successors to Nigel in both his ministerial and parliamentary responsibilities, and there will be a smooth transition in both capacities. We will provide updates in due course, and the public can expect policy continuity and a continuation of the economic achievements that this government has worked so hard to secure. Today, however, I wholeheartedly congratulate Nigel on today's announcement of his pending appointment as Deputy Managing Director of the IMF.
IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva describes Dr. Clark as an exceptional public servant and policymaker with proven leadership in institution building and economic crisis management, who has stewarded his country's economy to a stronger and more sustainable position. She says since 2016, he's been the IMF's chief counterpart on successive and historically successful programs for Jamaica. These include an extended fund facility, a precautionary standby arrangement, and most recently a precautionary liquidity line plus resilience and sustainability facility. The IMF boss says Dr. Clark is leaving the country with robust economic fundamentals. Dr. Clark is also the Member of Parliament for Northwestern St. Andrew. Before entering representational politics, Dr. Clark served in the Upper House of Parliament from 2013 to 2015. Minister Clark's public sector career includes on the boards of the National Housing Trust, the Port Authority of Jamaica, the Heart Trust, NSTA, and the Bank of Jamaica. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
And the IMF's Managing Director, Ms. Georgieva, says Dr. Clark is an exceptional public servant with proven leadership in institution building and crisis management. Writing on X, Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, praised Dr. Clark's appointment as a testament to the talent within the Caribbean region. She says Clark's appointment sets a powerful example for the people of the region. Two cabinet ministers seen as leading contenders to replace Dr. Clark as finance minister have been guarded about their potential elevation to the second most powerful post in the government. Speculation is mounting that Prime Minister Andrew Holness may look to Education Minister Favour Williams or Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon to take control of the country's finances. In 2018, Mrs. Williams was the first woman to serve as minister without portfolio in the finance ministry. She also served as state minister under Dr. Clark, and his predecessor, Audley Shaw. Asked about her possible elevation, Williams declined to comment.
You know already that I will not make a comment on that.
Favour Williams, Education Minister. Minister Williams is a chartered financial analyst by profession. And Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says she doesn't know what the future may hold, but she's currently focused on her present job.
You know, I respect our Prime Minister a lot. And I know that even with taking this role, the Prime Minister said, you know, I want you to do this if you feel you can give it your all. And I said yes to him after thinking it through with my family, and agreed to do it. And I believe that we have the right Prime Minister. I think he has a wonderful vision of Jamaica that I will help in whatever way I can to execute. And so, you know, I can't tell you what the future brings. I do not have a crystal ball. And when I talk to God, he doesn't usually respond in that way. And I ask him every day, just show me the way. He has not said that yet.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Information Minister. And the opposition People's National Party, PNP, has called for a clear transition plan following the announcement that Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark is departing the government. In a statement on Monday, the PNP congratulated Dr. Clark on his appointment, describing his elevation as a notable achievement for Jamaicans on the global stage. But PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell says his departure raises serious concerns.
This development raises significant concerns about the future of Jamaica's economic management and leadership. Dr. Clark's departure comes at a critical juncture for our country as we face serious economic challenges, including the spiraling cost of living and the negative growth impact of the recent hurricane.
Dr. Dayton Campbell, PNP General Secretary. Education Minister Favour Williams says Jamaica achieved a 33% pass rate for mathematics during the CAPE and CSEC examinations. The minister officially released the CAPE and CSEC results during a press conference on Monday. She says there has been an improvement in 13 subject areas for Unit 1 and 16 subject areas for Unit 2.
For this year, of the total CAPE subject entries, 43,661, 95% were sat with an average pass rate of 90%. Unit 1 had 31,783 subject entries, of which 30,136 or 95% were sat with a pass rate of 90% as well. For Unit 2, of those who sat, we saw a pass rate there of 91%. We did see improvements in 13 subject areas in Unit 1 and 16 subject areas in Unit 2.
Mathematics continues to be a weak subject for CSEC students. Only 36% of students in the Caribbean region who wrote the paper achieved a passing grade. This year's sitting of CSEC in the region saw a 69% pass rate overall. Minister Williams says 18% of students in Jamaica received passing marks in 5 or more subjects. She notes that math continues to show fluctuations in exam grades.
The data show that there have been fluctuations in the regional performance in key subjects, specifically for math and English A. So for 2024, Jamaica's math pass rate for public schools was 39%, and for all Jamaica, meaning public and private and other, that figure was 33.4%. When compared to the regional pass rate of 36%, Jamaican public school students surpassed this figure by approximately 3 percentage points. But when you look at the all Jamaica, which is public, private, and other, there was a decline of approximately 2.6%.
Favour Williams, Minister of Education. Those are the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Sports is next.
Don't compromise on water storage. Choose Rhino water tanks, Jamaica's topic for over 25 years. Built strong. Purchase a water harvester for an additional water supply. Rhino water tank, Jamaica's choice.
St. Elizabeth! JPS has collaborated with your local hardwares to bring you some incredible discounts on selected building materials from now until August 31. Participating hardwares include Levin Electrical, Arc Manufacturing Limited, and Camric Hardware. Come, get your lumber, roofing products, and much, much more. Check the press for details or the JPS social media pages at My JPS Online. Don't miss out. Offer ends August 31. JPS, working to restore and strengthen our breadbasket parish.
The University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Recruitment Roadshow. Fast and easy registration, informative sessions, one-on-one guidance. Join us on August 14, Ocho Rios, August 15, May Pen, August 16, Mandeville, August 21, Negril, August 22, Montego Bay, and our last stop, August 23, Halfway Tree. 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. each stop. UCC Recruitment Roadshow. Empower your dreams. Register today. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
Drive Hyundai. Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 4.99% interest rate. Yes! Shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 4.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance, and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 4.99%. Conditions apply.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker.
Rohanna Sutlow of St. Catherine High School will be the first Jamaican in action on the opening day of the 2024 World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Lima, Peru. Sutlow will be in Flight 2 of the girls' long jump qualification, which gets underway at 9:15 in the morning. Both flights of the qualifying series will be contested simultaneously, and that's tomorrow. At 9:40 a.m., Jamaica will go in Heat 2 of the mixed 4x400 meters relays with the likes of Nigeria. The girls' 100 meters first round heat is set to get off at 10:10 with Alana Reid in the third heat and Tiana Lee Tarilong in Heat 5. The boys' equivalent is set to get going at 11 o'clock with Gary Card in Heat number 5 and DeAndre Daly in Heat number 6. Also at 11 o'clock will be the girls' shot put qualification, where Shaquan Selburn Dunn will carry the Jamaican hopes, while at 11:45 the girls' discus qualification with Najada Seymour and Shamoya Morris in action. The semifinals of the boys and girls 100 meters will be run in the afternoon session, as well as a final of the mixed 4x400 meters relay, which will be the last event on the opening day of a competition. Meanwhile, coaches, teachers, and decision makers in sport will come together again when the Coaches Club takes center stage at the World Athletics Under-20 Championships, and Alex Swaby takes a closer look.
Organized by World Athletics in cooperation with the Global Athletics Coaching Academy, GACA, the Coaches Club enables the coaching community to learn in real time from the championships experience. It provides an opportunity for coaches to gain insight from experts in the field, as well as network, exchange ideas, experience, and contact. As part of the program in Lima, an online panel will be held each day from August 27 to September 1, while an on-site symposium will take place on August 31. Titled Building the Bridge to Excellence, the symposium will involve presentations from a number of experts in the field. Among the featured topics are the elite athlete career pathway, bridging the gap between under-20s and the Olympics, and the coach and the task. Alric Swaby reporting for Nationwide Sports.
Thank you very much, Alric. Jamaica's national record holder, Akira Nugent, says her victory in the 100 meters hurdles at the Celestia Diamond League meeting was a confidence booster after failing to complete her race in the final at the Paris Olympic Games. Nugent stunned the field by breaking the meet record twice in only her second Diamond League competition. On Sunday, she set a new meet record of 12.29 seconds, surpassing her previous record of 12.30 set just an hour earlier. Nugent says she plans to improve with each race.
Actually, it's a great feeling for like what happened to me after Olympics and stuff. And this is like my first ever Diamond League professionally. And just being able to come out here and compete with these amazing ladies, it's just a great feeling. It's just me doing the event, loving what I'm doing, and just coming out here each and every day and making little corrections and having a bit more confidence in myself and going over the hurdles.
That's Akira Nugent. Nugent will compete next at the Golden Gala Pietro Menia Diamond League meeting in Rome on Thursday. Well, she's scheduled to. If you notice, she hopped off the field yesterday and she had a cartilage tear. And I think if she's not well enough before Thursday, then they'll pull her from that. And instead, she'll be running in Lausanne, hoping to get enough points to get to the Diamond League final in Brussels. Now, the West Indies will be looking to complete a sweep of their three-match T20 International Series against South Africa when they meet in the final game at the Brian Lara Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago tomorrow at 2 p.m. Jamaica time. The Windies have already wrapped up the series after ticking off victories by 7 wickets and by 30 runs in the first two games at the same venue. Yesterday, the Guyanese trio of Romario Shepherd, Shamar Joseph and Gouda Keshmoti produced superb bowling displays to take the Caribbean side to victory. Joseph and Shepherd took 3 wickets apiece, with Shepherd being named man of the match.
First of all, winning the series was very important because that was one goal for us. My performance contributing to the series was, I'm happy also with that. So going forward, it's time now for us to look to go 3-0.
Romario Shepherd. The West Indies women's team will play their first ever T20 game in the United Arab Emirates when they play in the World Cup in October. The Windies will be one of only 4 teams who have never played a T20 game in the UAE before, the others being champions Australia, India and England. The revised schedule released today will have Australia opening their defence against Sri Lanka on October 5, with India facing New Zealand in Dubai a day earlier. For the first time, the 10-team event that has been moved from Bangladesh owing to countrywide agitations that led to the fall of a Sheikh Hasina-led regime earlier this month. In the updated fixture, matches will be split equally across Dubai and Sharjah for the group stages. Australia will play 3 of their 4 group games in Sharjah, while India will play 3 of their games in Dubai. India has been drawn to play Pakistan in an afternoon game on October 6 in Dubai, while South Africa, finalists in 2022, and England will play their heavyweight Group B clash. The following day in Sharjah, the marquee India versus Australia fixture, a rematch of the 2022 semi-final, is slated to be held on October 13 in Sharjah. Dubai is slated to host the first semi-final, which is also the one allotted to India should they qualify on October 17, while Sharjah will host the second semi-final on October 18. Dubai will host the tournament finale on October 20. Both semi-finals and the final have been allotted a reserve day, unlike at the Men's T20 World Cup in June, where the semi-final involving India was allotted a reserve day. Cricket's world governing body, the ICC, could introduce a dedicated fund for the 2025 season in an attempt to reinforce Test cricket and to allow boards outside the Big Three to compete with more lucrative franchise leagues to ensure they can call upon a bigger pool of their talent. The initiative, driven primarily by Cricket Australia chairman Mark Baird and with the support of the BCCI and the ECB, is aimed at creating a central fund to provide a minimum standard match fee for players across the board, reported to be around US $10,000. The hope will be agreed upon before Christmas, in time for it to be fully operational next year. Not only would this make Test cricket more attractive to players who essentially opt out of the format for a bigger payday in the shorter format across the world, but it would also reduce the costs incurred by less moneyed boards. That's sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:20.
For hard-to-get medications, over-the-counter and chemotherapy drugs, visit Dean's Pharmacy Papine. When others don't have it, we do. Dean's Pharmacy. Feeling better starts right here.
The temperature by Dean's Pharmacy, feeling better, starts right here, is
29 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 30 in the western city, Montego Bay.
St. Elizabeth! JPS has collaborated with your local hardwares to bring you some incredible discounts on selected building materials from now until August 31. Participating hardwares include Levin Electrical, Arc Manufacturing Limited, and Camric Hardware. Come, get your lumber, roofing products, and much, much more. Check the press for details or the JPS social media pages at My JPS Online. Don't miss out. Offer ends August 31. JPS, working to restore and strengthen our breadbasket parish.
Are you burning up with this summer heat? The place hot, man. Get cool now with a Hisense air conditioner. I feel good. With advanced energy-saving inverter technology and whisper quiet operation, beat this heat with Hisense. Available at Aliabra Brands Limited, 64 Hagley Park Road, or call 876-676-5951 now.
So good, so good. I got you.
We've been a part of everyday Jamaican life for over 25 years. From paydays to birthdays, unexpected emergencies to anniversary celebrations, the supermarket checkout line, or paying a bill or taxes on time. Our fast, secure debit network provides reliable service so you can always depend on Multilink. Jamaican and proud, fast, secure, everywhere.
Get ready, Ocho Rios. Express Fitness is coming to the Draxall Commercial Complex on August 31, 2024 with exciting perks just for you. Our gym will be open 24/7, offering state-of-the-art equipment and complete with showers and secured parking. Experience a variety of group fitness classes and become part of our supportive FitFam community. Don't miss out on this fitness revolution. Join us at Express Fitness in the Draxall Commercial Complex. Visit our website or call 1-888-FITNESS for pre-opening specials. Express Fitness, express your best self.
My Mega
With so much to do in one location, make Mega Mart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs,
grab a bite, and pay some bills. Fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Megamart, the best value by far.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robeanne Williams. A special good evening to our friends on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for tuning in. We invite you to weigh in live in the comment section on today's Public Opinion. So, in a historic move, Jamaica's Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, has been appointed to Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, a top job. Now, the revelation came Monday morning in a press release from the Office of the Prime Minister. Dr. Clark is set to take up the second highest post at the multilateral effective October 31, 2024. So in Public Opinion, we're asking, what's your reaction to Dr. Nigel Clark's pending departure as Finance Minister?
The Finance Minister, I've really admired him. I'm very happy for the step he has taken. Growth has been significant. He is strident. He is brilliant. He is balanced. We'll miss him dearly, dearly. He has contributed significantly to the development of Jamaica, so we're really going to miss him, but wish him all that is good because he deserves what is good.
It is going to be a big loss to our country. He's a brilliant mind that has been recognized internationally. There's no doubt about that. I don't know how he'll be replaced or by who, but I wish him well. All a part of growth. We have to embrace it and just move on.
Well, I think that it would at least open up the position to somebody who may be a bit more innovative, basically getting some fresh blood in, which I think is usually a good thing. And I believe that also the change that he's doing is going to be very beneficial.
He was a very good finance minister, and I am sure that the government has made the proper arrangements to fill his place. It's a position, I think, that's well deserved.
It's definitely in a way on the election prospects next time because they've lost probably the most prominent single minister that was out there, the one that everybody viewed positively as doing a good job. So it's going to be rough.
Those were the views of the people we canvassed earlier today. We went to Halfway Tree, and we also went into the Northwest constituency, Northwest St. Andrew constituency of Dr. Nigel Clark. But there are others who are questioning his appointment.
Find out what is the reason for him to leave. Is it a financial issue or what? If he's remunerated properly and decided, then he wouldn't have gone to the other side, would he?
This is his country, and he ran away to the IMF, who would suck so much from us already out of our coffers. I don't understand. I would love to hear from him, but that not help we. You know. It's good for him individually, not us, not the country.
All right. So I'm going to get to the comments on our, let me see, this is X, yes, our social media platforms. Graham Jervis is saying it's a bittersweet moment for him, but he's confident that he, referring to Dr. Nigel Clark, will leave us in good hands. There is no way that at Nigel Clark JA will allow his hard work to be dismantled. Striker is saying, totally surprised. While I am very glad he's taking up a prestigious position at the IMF, I'm sad he isn't here to guide the Jamaican economy, wishing him continued success. Miss Spontaneous is saying that I'm happy and sad at the same time. He is the best finance minister since independence. I wish him all the best on this new chapter. Kwame McPherson is saying a big loss. It's a big loss for Jamaica. But Dr. Nigel Clark has left us in great hands. Whoever next steps in the role will only need to follow his template. Would you look at that? Lord Carmona is saying, sad for the country to lose him as finance minister, but it is an appointment worthy of his skills. So go on through, Nigel. Same way Sasha say it in other voice there. Pacha is saying it's a bittersweet moment. Happy for him, but Aviation Dean is saying we're proud. In 2 years, he will be MD of IMF. Let me see. Maija is saying Dr. Nigel Clark is a generational talent like Messi. So we knew that eventually he would have advanced to much greener pastures. Bowinkle says it is distressing. This is someone who has and could have continued to be an asset to the country. Talent such as this is not easily replaced, coming from Bowinkle there. Brescia saying happy for him. Many Jamaicans didn't appreciate him, so go Nigel, star a star. Javon Ramden. Dr. Nigel Clark's pending departure as finance minister may bring uncertainty. His expertise has been valuable. Hope for a smooth transition and continuity in financial policies to ensure stability for Jamaica. I'm going to switch on over to our Facebook platform. Getting a comment here from Philip Jackson, who says one of Jamaica's biggest loss, but at the same time he's being seen on the world stage as a shining beam in the financial industry. And he's saying that it's a big achievement for little Jamaica. Brian Stevenson saying congratulations to Minister Clark. It is a good look. It is a good move. All the best to him. He has left the economy in a better place because of his stewardship of the economy. And he's saying that the successor will be he's hoping that the successor will be fiscally prudent with the economy. Bad English saying congratulations to Dr. Clark. Saying that Dr. Clark is Jamaica's best finance minister. Pros, he's giving pros and cons. Pros, Dr. Clark's departure as finance minister could bring fresh perspectives and ideas to the role. Cons, it may disrupt the continuity and stability of the government's economic policies during this critical time. All right, I'm seeing here a big loss for Jamaica coming from Rosalind Buck. Beverly Barrett says, Mr. Clark, thank you for a job well done. Greatness is in you, sir. George Elliott says, more than Dr. Clark's departure is a phenomenal rise to DMD, one of the most recognized and important institutions worldwide. And I can tell you from now, just scrolling through the comments here on Facebook, I'm seeing congratulatory messages. I'm seeing it's a good opportunity. Can't read all of them at once. A lot of messages on our posts on this Facebook and also on X. Let me move on over to Instagram. Ladies saying big loss for Jamaica, but a big professional win for him. All right, let me see. Shambhala is saying survival instincts make us opportunists. He could have been the next prime minister. However, he chose more remuneration and recognition over serving his country. Sham is saying wish him all the best luck and that his position, which has significant benefits to Jamaica and not just himself. Okay, Shambhala. Congrats coming from Kashi. And Hyatt Herman is saying, I am proud of Dr. Clark's achievements, but I am saddened at the same time. I know he will be a part of his beautiful country. All right. Wow. Let me see the comments coming in on our YouTube. We're YouTubers. Yeah. Let me see. Marlene P says Jamaica on the world map again. I think we did drop off still in Marlene, but I get you. D Muse saying it's bittersweet, but a man got to do what a man gotta do. Congratulations, Dr. Nigel Clark. Beverly Ricketts, I'm speechless. Sitting in the same position from morning. I'm sad. Yes. This is one that has got to sink in it? Michael Bailey says, very big congratulations, Uncle Nigel. PNP. Whoa. PNP can't say he was not doing a good job. No. All right. Edwin Douglas says it is a win for Jamaica and the world. Marcus the Best says Dr. Clark leans right politically. Okay, Dr. Clark leans right politically like me. Let's see how he does in left-wing Washington, D.C. That's going to be a challenge. Des Smith is saying, I would leave the bunch of ungrateful people in Jamaica. The people live suffering and sucking salt through wooden spoons. So be it. Wow. Okay. Orinthia Campbell is saying, bittersweet moment. He surely will be missed. Never know that the water well until it's dry. Never know the water well until it's dry. The Honorable Prime Minister will get someone to sit in the honorable seat. All right. Everell Bell says over 2,000 watching just to hear the great news. Yes. Big up to the YouTubers watching at this point in time, 2014 and climbing. We love you. Marsha Young says he's poised to be by Kamala come November. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Father Perry says him jumping out of Andrew fire to come. He knows what's up. Andrew is toast. All right, Father Perry, we hear you. Radley Boy is saying, I agree with Dr. Clark by doing what is best for him. I wonder how Jamaica can benefit, though. You know what came to mind? Like earlier, I was sitting and I was just reading through the stories about Dr. Nigel Clark. And you remember when we had the dub election in it was it 2020? Yes, dub election, and the song was Santa Clark. Do you ever call that one kind of you know? I recall that song, you know, just because we were. It's today has been all about Dr. Clark. Let me see if I can get in some more comments. Political analyst says much better than run with it. Oof, oh, wow. Okay. Beverly Lewis says if him did a thief, them wouldn't pick him up. Wow. Okay. All right. Yes. Altie Bailey says we will miss you. Mikey Jones, I see your comment there. I am winning right now. Says Uno couldn't keep Nigel long. Man too smart. Wow, yes, indeed. Whenever I heard his accomplishments, the story we did, I was like, wow, yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. Pauline Taylor says he will be missed. Yeah, Pauline Taylor, I saw your comment just now. Corey B says, my PM is strategic. Another genius will rise. Norman Collins says he's the first finance minister who is a real economist. Godspeed. Okay. Mercy is saying Jamaica won't get any special favors. He will be a part of an international team. M. Moran says Dr. Clark increased the parliamentary salaries so he could recruit more Dr. Clarks from the private sector. Jacqueline Small, a lot of congratulatory messages here coming from our YouTubers. We thank you so much. I cannot read them all, but I'm seeing them. At this time, we'll have to end our public opinion because up next is the business report.
Public opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:36. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. The ride-hailing app Uber has been hit with a $324 million fine for transferring the personal data of European drivers to U.S. servers in violation of EU rules. The Dutch Data Protection Authority, DPA, said the transfers were a serious violation of the EU's General Data Protection Regulation as they failed to appropriately protect their driver information. According to the watchdog, information including ID documents, taxi licenses, and location data was transferred to the company's headquarters in the U.S. over a 2-year period. Uber said it would appeal the fine, which it called unjustified. Prime Minister of Canada Justin Trudeau has said he plans to lower the number of low-wage, temporary foreign workers and permanent residents being let into Canada. Mr. Trudeau made the announcement on Monday on the second day of a cabinet retreat where his team is hammering out their autumn agenda. It comes as Canada grapples with a rapidly growing population that economists say has put strain on housing and public services like health care. The vast majority of Canada's population growth last year, about 97%, was driven by immigration, and that's according to the federal statistics. And finally, in the currency markets, at the close of trading today, it cost 158 Jamaican dollars and 49 cents to buy $1. It cost 207 Jamaican dollars and 68 cents to buy £1 British pound, and 117 Jamaican dollars and 85 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. And that's the business report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
Me? Busy as usual, so I don't have no time for whole heap of paperwork. That's why I downloaded and signed up for my One JN Passport app. It's a whole new level of convenience and access to services within the JN Financial Group. Just a few taps on my smartphone and box. I can update my personal information, open a JN Bank savings account, and even apply for an unsecured loan. Get it all in one go. Download and sign up now. The One JN Passport app. JN will help you find a way.
St. Elizabeth! JPS has collaborated with your local hardwares to bring you some incredible discounts on selected building materials from now until August 31. Participating hardwares include Levin Electrical, Arc Manufacturing Limited, and Camric Hardware. Come, get your lumber, roofing products, and much, much more. Check the press for details or the JPS social media pages at My JPS Online. Don't miss out. Offer ends August 31. JPS, working to restore and strengthen our breadbasket parish.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, is a financial reporting firm that delivers accounting and compliance services on time. Call us today at 876-908-0486-7. Email us at clientservices@cocnjamaica.com or visit our website at www.cocnjamaica.com. COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Friend, it's the best decision we've ever made to further our education. We finally have our dream jobs. The Students' Loan Bureau did this for us, you know. Yes, girl, it was a lot of work, but we made it. All I have to start thinking about right now is to repay my student loan, and with SLB's low interest rate, I won't feel burdened at all. Let's make sure others can achieve their dreams too.
Visit our website at slbja.com for more details and follow all our social media platforms to be in the loop.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Looking to rent a fully operational production studio? Then Nationwide 90 FM has got you covered. We have flexible options to meet your recording needs any day of the week. Monday to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays available upon request. Bookings must be made in advance. Call us today at 630-1210. Let us help you reach your production desires.
Unicomer Jamaica presents Better You, a health and wellness initiative designed to empower a healthier workforce. Tune in to Nationwide at 5 from 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, August 28, 2024, as we come to you live from Unicomer's Better You Health Fair and Launch. Don't miss all the excitement and highlights as we learn more about how Unicomer invests in the health and well-being of its employees. Health checks, nutrition tips, exercise classes, free medicals for the kids, games, giveaways, and enough prizes. Don't miss Better You, promoting a healthier you to a better you. That's a live broadcast of Nationwide at 5 from 6 to 8 p.m. on August 28, 2024. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Unicomer.
Nation's Business is brought to you by BH Paints. Paint it, love it with BH Paints.
Minutes going up to 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us here Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Well, we're continuing to get reactions to the news that Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark is set to leave the government at the end of October. This as he has been appointed Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. We're now being joined by a former Finance Minister and former President of the People's National Party, Dr. Peter Phillips. Good evening, Dr. Phillips.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Tell me, your reaction to the news this morning that Dr. Phillips is, Dr. Clark is on his way to the IMF.
No, I think congratulations are due to him. It is an important and well-deserved accolade for him to be appointed as one of the deputy managing directors, and an indication not just of his own accomplishments personally, but I think it puts the Caribbean and Jamaica and Latin America in a position to have a voice in the senior levels of the staff of the International Monetary Fund. While he is not likely to be directly overseeing Jamaica or Jamaica's programs, nevertheless, it is good to have somebody from the developing world able to empathize with, understand, and speak from experience about the situation in the emerging markets. So, yes, all told, that is good. Speaking personally, as I said to him myself earlier, I would hope that we'll be able to benefit in Jamaica from a voice, a considered voice, to reflect on the challenges of growth, which is something that has eluded us in the country, sustainable economic growth, and where I think the tenor of the debate globally is moving away from notions of trickle down and in the direction of clear-cut industrial policies and growth plans that would enable different countries in different situations to cross the line and enter the ranks of developed countries. And it's certainly it's a debate that is needed here in Jamaica and the Caribbean, and I think Nigel Clark's experience would make him an important contributor to such a debate. But I'm hopeful that, despite the fact that he'll be, based elsewhere, that when such a debate gets underway, as I hope it will, and in Jamaica, and include not even primarily the representatives of political parties, but other elements, other stakeholders in the country as well, that we'll be able to get some benefit from his experience and from his exposure to thinking in the wider world.
Dr. Phillips, certainly Dr. Clark, coming from a area that's not usually represented at such high levels of at the multilateral level, do you believe he can bring a unique perspective as to how the multilaterals such as the IMF can address many of the ails that trouble small island developing states?
Yes, but I think that his he obviously as a economic manager in a small island developing state, he will have a valuable perspective to bring to bear on their discussions. But I think his reach will go beyond that, and it will be an ability to integrate a lot of the ideas and the experiences of other countries into measures and proposals that can be of value to the developing countries themselves and to small island developing states in particular. But we shouldn't limit his scope. Give him a chance to explore more widely the range of thoughts and ideas that abound in the global community at the present time.
Dr. Phillips, the architecture, as we know it, the Bretton Woods system following the end of the Second World War, which gave rise to the World Bank and the IMF. Yes. The IMF is led by a European, yes, and the World Bank by an American, I think it is. And now Dr. Clark is now going to be at the highest possible level that is, available at the IMF because he's a non-European and the deputy managing director is at the highest level.
Well, remember there are a number. Yes, in the fund, it is usually the case that the U.S. Deputy Managing Director, which has been a constant feature from, post-World War II till now, tends to be primus inter pares among the Deputy Managing Directors. And you have had representatives of the Asian developing countries and the U.S. And infrequently someone from the developing world. So he is one of those from the developing world. China has a deputy managing director too, or did certainly in recent times. And so yes, but his appointment is a relatively rare circumstance in that he's from the developing world.
Dr. King, an expansion to that question from Cliff. I have a statement here from Dr. Damian King over on X. He says Nigel Clark's appointment as IMF Deputy MD as someone more qualified than most of its MDs highlights that he cannot be promoted to the top job because the US and EU divvy up the IMF and World Bank between them alone. How does the world continue to accept this egregious job reservation scheme? What do you make of that comment?
No, I think it's a valid point. The question is that these decision-making positions take account of the real distribution of power in another sense in the world. I mean, straight economic power and political power in the world. And so it is certainly worthwhile raising the fact that the voices being brought to bear need to be broadened. But that is going to take a lot of discussion, lobbying, and a redistribution of some of the power that exists, because the sheer question of the level of the contributions to the fund and the World Bank, etc., is something being brought to bear. But definitely we should continue to put on the table and to strive for a more broadly democratic distribution of influence in these institutions.
And Dr. Phillips, I want to hear your reaction. The PNP this afternoon likened his appointment to abandoning a sinking ship. What did you make of that when you heard it?
Well, I think that there are those who have a political interest, an immediate political interest to serve, and they can decide how best to serve it. But I think there are other aspects that we ought also to look at, and namely that small regions like ours and small countries like ours are too often without a voice in these higher councils of the world. So while some might say the glass is half empty, it's possible to look at the areas in which the glass is full and in which opportunities would be presented. I have every expectation that Nigel Clark remains Jamaican with a commitment to the country, and that this attachment and commitment will figure in how he will conduct himself in the wider councils of global economic influence and power.
Mm-hmm. I keep on being reminded so often by your comments when you were at the wicket as the Minister of Finance, when you said, given what you found and what you were put through, you would not wish that on another Jamaican finance minister.
Yes, I mean, the truth is, without trying to get embroiled in, political to and froing, the truth is some of the problems which we face in Jamaica and in the developing world is going to require a lot of collaboration as distinct from competition. And I think one of the features of our current politics may be unavoidable as we are approaching electoral season, is that we are not able sufficiently to find the points of collaboration, and that would enable us to move forward together. Because if we are really going to go forward, we're going to have to go forward together, united around some fundamental principles and demands and programs. And one of the things that I used to find striking and, in fact, appealing, particularly going through the 80s and 90s, was the degree to which I think, having learned a lot through the 70s, we were able, across party lines, to forge the points of linkage and collaboration where necessary. And as I said, I think it's whatever the circumstances that prompted Nigel Clark to go, it is good to wish him well and to hope that there will be some benefit for Jamaica and the Caribbean in his going. And I would urge us to look for those areas where we can benefit.
Yeah.
And Dr. Phillips, considering the innings you ran at the helm of Jamaica's finance and economic system, and where we're coming from, that debt of, I believe it was 180% of GDP at one point? 140% of GDP. Yeah. And for a nation coming from that position to now essentially providing the IMF with what I would consider one of its brightest minds, what does that say in terms of the accomplishments of the country itself?
I think that it is good that we have made progress, and I am pleased for having been able to do whatever little bit I was able to do. But I think we ought to not become too celebratory about it all, even though there is much to celebrate, because we still need, if we are to get our own per capita incomes approaching anywhere close to some of the leading Caribbean countries, Bahamas, Trinidad, Barbados, Antigua, etc. We need to be able to secure sustained and prolonged periods of sustained growth. And this, we need to put our minds to it. And we also need to recognize that even debt to GDP at 72% where or thereabouts, where I think it's at, is still not at the point that are the most desirable points as far as economic management is concerned. So we it's been a very rough path. I think that much more effort could and should be made on really engaging the country in defining a growth agenda, if I might put it that way, and that's something that we need to address. But as I said, I don't think we need to take anything away from the opportunity that has been afforded to Nigel Clark, and I don't think that we need to second guess his particular decision. He has taken a decision, and we wish him well. I certainly wish him well.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Peter Phillips.
Okay, all the best.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Peter Phillips, the former finance minister. We're going to take a break and come back with more.
Nation's Business was brought to you by BH Paints. Paint it, love it with BH Paints.
Whether you're overseas or in Jamaica, everybody wants their little piece of yard. Well, that's where a JMMB bank mortgage comes in. With JMMB, you'll get more support, more incentives, more benefits, more coverage with JMMB insurance brokers. And also, we give you more time to repay. Your JMMB mortgage expert will answer all of your questions and guide you through every step along the journey. You're not alone with JMMB. Contact us at info@jmmb.com and learn how you can get more than just a mortgage.
The government of Jamaica has purchased brand new state-of-the-art buses to further enhance commuter experience, reduce wait times, comfortable seats, cool AC, and a smoother ride. Travel with the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport as they build a modern world-class transportation system to serve Jamaica even better. Join the new revolution in media, Nationwide 90 FM, for a live broadcast on Tuesday, August 27, 2024 at JUTC Portmore, hosted by the CliffViews online team. They will explore how the future of public transportation in Jamaica has evolved, bringing you more fuel-efficient, state-of-the-art buses with clean energy, making the investment for greater comfort during your daily commute while being able to track your buses in real time. That's a live broadcast of the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport's upcoming handover ceremony for the new 100 CNG buses on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is sponsored by the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis, weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
The Oasis is brought to you by Solar Tech Jamaica. We use the gift of the sun to power our world.
Unicomer Jamaica presents Better You, a health and wellness initiative designed to empower a healthier workforce. Tune in to Nationwide at 5 from 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, August 28, 2024, as we come to you live from Unicomer's Better You Health Fair and Launch. Don't miss all the excitement and highlights as we learn more about how Unicomer invests in the health and well-being of its employees. Health checks, nutrition tips, exercise classes, free medicals for the kids, games, giveaways, and enough prizes. Don't miss Better You, promoting a healthier you to a better you. That's a live broadcast of Nationwide at 5 from 6 to 8 p.m. on August 28, 2024. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Unicomer.
Catch the E-Zone with me, the Stinger Honeybee, alongside
Kareem Boy Ting.
as we turn up the heat
in the street. New show.
New vibes.
Same us.
Same us.
Monday to Friday, 3 to 5 p.m.
Right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
We'll bring you entertainment news.
We'll take away your Monday blues.
You don't want to miss a week with us.
We'll talk health.
Well,
jump into the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss the brain buster.
Or the crazy giveaways.
I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow.
Yeah.
4 minutes after 7 o'clock, we're into the third and final hour now of Nationwide at 5 for this Monday evening, Monday, August 26. Well, 13 Jamaicans have been awarded the 2024 Achieving Scholarships to pursue master's degrees in the United Kingdom. The scholars were selected from an extremely strong shortlisted pool of 69. They were chosen from a wider candidate pool of more than 300.
Chevening is the UK government's international awards program aimed at developing global leaders. It offers a unique opportunity for future leaders, influencers, and decision makers from all over the world to develop professionally and academically, network extensively, experience UK culture, and build lasting positive relationships with the United Kingdom.
This year's scholars are Lanika Roden,
Saeed Bernard,
Nathaniel Amor,
Anthony Mackenzie,
Tony Ann Taylor,
Janelle McCoy,
Jo-Marie Malcolm Gordon,
Tajay Grant,
Renee MacDonald,
Sonia Murray,
Najee Murray,
and Dr. Ulawatomalia Bewaji Edokapka.
I'm glad you get that one. And the 13th, Chantal Artwell. The group will pursue their studies in a variety of fields, including law, energy and climate change, financial regulation, sports and exercise biomechanics, and brand management.
Well, this evening we're joined by three, but currently we only have two on the line. That is Lanika Rodden, who is pursuing a Masters of Law in Energy and Climate Change at Queen Mary University of London, and Tajay Grant, who is pursuing a Master of Sciences in Sports and Exercise Biomechanics at Leeds Beckett University. We're hoping also to be joined by Jo-Marie Malcolm Gordon, who is pursuing a Masters of Arts in Brand Management at Coventry University.
And our own Saeed Bernard, our co-host of Nationwide this morning, he is one of the 13. He's also going to Queen Mary University to do a master's in law. But we're going to begin with Lanika and Tajay. Good evening. Congratulations, Lanika, Tajay.
Thank you so
Good
much.
evening.
Good evening,
Thank you so much.
everyone.
You're welcome. Let me begin with you, Lanika. Tell me about your study, your area's focus, Masters in Energy and Climate Change.
Yes, so I'll be doing a Masters of Law in Energy and Climate Change at Queen Mary University of London. Essentially, it will cover critical areas such as energy law, climate change, international natural resource management, laws of the sea. It will also look at nuclear energy, which you know is something that the Prime Minister would have mentioned that Jamaica might seek to explore. And it also looks at renewable energy regulations. It looks at preparing countries for the energy transition and to ensure that we are, of course, meeting the targets, the 2050 targets for net zero, and how do we transform a sector that is dominated by petroleum and carbon emissions to now, scaling up solar, wind energy, and other renewable energy technologies that will also be, developed.
And you, Tajay, explain to us, what does a program in sports and exercise biomechanics entail?
All right. So
Basically, sports and exercise biomechanics really entails the in-depth analysis of how the body moves. So we're basically breaking down the human body into a machine, and we're analyzing how it moves using the muscles and the bones, and then using that knowledge to further develop whether it be policies or research that can guide how we train our athletes to improve their performance, one, on the world stage, and two, decrease their risk of injury overall.
And Tajay, tell me a little bit about your background up until now.
Well, so I would have started out at the University of the West Indies, where I did my bachelor's in physical therapy. After I completed my studies, I did a year internship at KPH and at the University Hospital of the West Indies. And then I returned to the university itself to start my, tenure as a clinical physiotherapist in the sports medicine department. For the past 4 years, that's where I have been. I have treated the local athletes, both at UWI and a few national athletes. And on a larger scale, I would have worked with the national cricket team. And then I would have also been called up to the duty with the West Indies men, West Indies women, West Indies under 19 men and women. And currently, I am full-time with the West Indies senior women's team.
And Lanika, I see here you have extensive experience in environmental management and renewable energy. What specific goals do you have, and how do you plan to use the program at Queen Mary to impact environmental policies in the Caribbean?
So I currently work with the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport as Director of Energy Systems and Conservation. So I'm primarily responsible for the government's energy efficiency and conservation program. And I would have had the opportunity to contribute extensively to the electric vehicle policy and the energy efficiency and conservation policy. And so when I do return, it is my hope to contribute in a meaningful way to help Jamaica prepare for that whole big jump that we'll have to make in terms of, transitioning our energy sector and scaling up renewables in terms of the feed into the grid. I also want to look at models for stabilizing the grid and also looking at making it more climate resilient. Because as you can see, especially with the impact of Hurricane Beryl, for example, and how long it would have taken quite a few of the Jamaican residents to get their electricity. And so, there's quite a lot of work to be done in the energy sector entirely. And so, looking at ways to climate-proof it, because we do live in a changing environment, and we have to learn to adapt. We have to also learn to respond quickly whenever these natural disasters happen.
I understand we're now joined by Jo Marie Malcolm Gordon. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
Good evening, Ms. Malcolm Gordon. My question to you, can you give us some information as to your field of study and what you hope to accomplish through the Chevening Scholarship?
Sure. Thank you so much for that question. So my field of study will be in brand management. And what I am hoping to do with that is really to contribute positively to the orange economy locally, because according to the National Expert Strategy, it is it's definitely one of the most untapped areas for economic development and international competitiveness.
For us not in the know, explain to us what the orange economy is.
So the orange economy refers to the creative economy. So where creative services, whether it be branding, marketing, or even just anything that shows talent on display, whether it be dancing, singing, how it is that we can essentially monetize and ultimately create significant economic change by learning how to position those services as viable exports on the international marketplace, and also really to contribute to the amplification of brand Jamaica, because we I do hold a very strong view that Brand Jamaica is a luxury brand, and it's really how can other businesses, not just our major players, but how can other business tap into that brand affiliation and really leave an imprint on the international market.
I'm interested in the term you use, a luxury brand, as distinct from a premium brand. Is there a distinction to be made?
Well, a subtle distinction, because when we think of luxury brands, we think of those that don't necessarily actively market or actively advertise, because what they represent is a lifestyle or there's some aspiration. So just to bring it back home, or athletes, for example, tend to be brand ambassadors for actually 3 luxury brands. So we know that Usain Bolt is a brand ambassador for Hublot. We know that Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price is a brand ambassador for Dior, I believe it is, or rather, no, sorry, it's Richard Mille, and Elaine is a brand ambassador for Dior. So we are already, when you look at the affiliation with Brand Jamaica and or luxury brands, there's definitely that synergy there. So it's how can we localize it for other brands.
And talk to us about your experiences with Forbes, BLK, and the Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative.
Right. So is it as in both of them, in terms of the experience with both?
Yes.
Okay, sure. So the Forbes BLK refers to a global network of Black professionals that is curated by Forbes magazine. And what they're really trying to do is really create a space for Black professionals across the globe to come together to network, to really build on leadership, as well as how can there be strategic connections to enhance and to otherwise support each other. So my experience with that has been really interesting. I've gotten the opportunity to meet people from across the world who what really connects us is that passion for change and global impact, especially as Black professionals. And for the Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative, I was one of the 2023 fellows, and I would have been placed in Boston for 4 weeks. And just to give some context for the listeners, the Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative is a 4-week placement fellowship that is preceded by an entrepreneurship curriculum, and then you are placed in the US in one of the cities, the participating cities, for 4 weeks for an in-person placement. And the intention behind that is that you get on-the-job training, on-the-job exposure, especially to the U.S. workplace. And after that, you are then the other fellows. There is a reconvening of the group in Washington, D.C. at the closing forum. And so that experience for me was really positive, so much so that I became a member of the Alumni Council, and I'm one of 2 Caribbean voices on that council. And I thought it was very important that as Caribbean fellows were represented in that space where the decision making happens and ultimately where the doors are opened. And then I had the privilege as well to be a part of the selection committee for the 2025 fellows. So it's very interesting to have been a fellow and then to be a part of the group of people who have the privilege of selecting the next group of transformational leaders who will have exposure to that fellowship.
Very well.
So that has been my experience.
Lenika Roden, you are going to Queen Mary University in London. First time in Britain for you?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello, Lenika?
Hi, yes, it will be.
The first time. How are you preparing to take on London?
Well, to be honest, it has been pretty hectic because I think we do have a very short period between when we would have received all the information that, hey, we're going to London, you got through with the scholarship, and then when we have to arrive. So I've been making a list because, when we had the send-off ceremony, I had the privilege of meeting with other scholars who would have gone through it, who would have had the experience, and having had a conversation, they would have given some very important tips in terms of, one way to prepare is to make a list of places that you definitely need to visit. On the academic side of things, I have been doing my enrollment in terms of my pre-enrollment process for the university, doing my checklist, doing a little prep work for the different courses or modules that I intend to undertake. I've been looking at companies too, because you want to maximize the experience. You're going to big city like London, you have to maximize it professionally too. And so I'm looking at different firms that are big in the energy space, that are doing well in climate change, big NGOs, foundations, different government agencies, and of course looking forward to connecting with the Jamaican diaspora.
Good. And so just a moment, Siobhan. So the key thing is to get ready. So when you hit London, you hit the ground running, and because the work starts virtually the following morning, and you can't go to London, Lenika, Jamari, and Tajay, and don't go see London and outside of London. That's part of the experience. Tajay, what about
see Scotland?
Yes, Tajay, what about you? First time?
So no, the nature of my job means that I travel a fair bit.
Good.
So I have been to London about 2 times.
Yes.
But I've been to the UK about 4 times in total.
Yes.
So I'm excited to go out. It's a very beautiful country.
A lot to learn.
I do like the cold. I do like the cold weather. It's a bit wet and so, but I do like it a bit at times.
Oh.
So that's something to look forward to apart from the heat.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity to just get out there and to see how they do things. In fact, it was my first trip in the UK in 2020 in the pandemic with the Western Zoom, and that sparked my interest in just studying further physiotherapy in the UK itself.
Yes.
Because most of their athletes actually get approved for programs at the university free of cost, and they get to study something within the sporting discipline free of cost at the best university in the UK. So it was just really interesting to see how their athletes just were, I guess, a couple steps ahead of ours in that department. And it really drove me to say, how can I become, or what can I do to contribute back to my country to bring us to that level?
Yes. And of course, you have to plan how to make the money stretch. London is a very expensive place.
Well, my program, fortunately, my program is not in London. It is in Leeds, which is about 4 or 5 hours away by train from London.
Oh.
It's north, so approaching Scotland.
Yes.
I've literally been doing a budget today.
Yes?
Yes. It is expensive. London is expensive.
Yes.
So that is one reason I did not go to school in London. We were advised that if we did, we might have come to that issue in terms of stretching our stipend.
Eat a whole heap of fish and chips. The preferred meal for students.
Yes. Cost effective.
Yes.
So tell me, Jo Marie, what was it like? What were the mix of emotions to find out that you were one of the handful selected from a list of more than 300 candidates for that Chevening Scholarship?
It's really hard to put it into words, but I will try my best. I mean, for one, it really, the prestige of the scholarship, without saying it, you feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. You feel that it's an honor, and you feel that you're a part of a group of individuals who clearly have set themselves apart and really represent the best that the world has to offer. And it's very hard for me to claim that, even though my friends who are Chevening scholars, they said, no, you're going to have to get used to that, because that is how you're going to be perceived in the world. So for me, it really was just a moment of gratitude, profound gratitude, and just excitement in terms of being a part of a group of brilliant minds. I am kind of pinching myself to see how I am a part of this group, but I do think of it as a significant privilege.
And the same question to you, Lenika, then to Jay.
Yeah, so I would say that I was very happy, very ecstatic, and I share the same sentiments in the sense that, you are a part of a group of people who excel in society. They excel in their respective fields. And for me, I would say that it felt almost like confirmation to say, yes, girl, you worked hard for this. You've been working all these years. in your field, you've been doing great work in terms of volunteering, because when you look at the profile of achievement scholar and you see what you embody, the different requirements and credentials you would have been able to fulfill, you really take a step back and pat yourself on the shoulder and say, well done, congratulations. It's probably one of the first times I've been able to do that, even having received different awards, in different times of my life. When I received the Achievement Scholarship, that's when I sat down and I said, I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Make the best of it. Lanika Roden, Jamari Malcolm Gordon, and Tajay Grant. Make the best of it.
Thank you. I would say for me, when I heard the news, I actually jumped a bit high. I actually hit my hand on the ceiling fan. That's how tall I am.
Oh wow!
Afterwards, I just had to sit I just sat down for a good 5 minutes in just relief.
Yes.
Because as Jamar would have said, you work really hard, and when you look at the profile of the Achievement Scholars, you do see that we do a lot of volunteerism. We do work extremely hard to get where we are, and as you would have noted, it's a very competitive scholarship. So to really achieve it, it's just whoa, I really did this, and now you can again keep on pressing gas to achieve even more with this scholarship in place as well.
Very well. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This is Nationwide at 5. We're going to take your calls after the break now. Big news of the day. The Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, is on his way to the International Monetary Fund as a Deputy Managing Director come October 31, 2024. Let me hear your feedback on that. The numbers to call 876-630-937124 or 876-618-8255.
It's IQ Optical's sizzling summer sale. For this month only, get 50% off lenses when you purchase a frame. Kids get free lenses with a purchase of a frame. Make the intelligent choice with IQ Optical. Conditions apply.
The Watchman. Exploring issues shaping our society, government, and business. Provocative, unconventional. Dr. Henley Morgan is The Watchman.
Good evening. We little but we talawa. There is no description of the Jamaican spirit that is more apt than this. In culture, music, sports, academia, diplomacy, racial justice, and many other fields, the influence of this small island has reached well beyond our shores to affect societies and countries that are much larger, more powerful, and wealthier. One area where this is evident is in the influence that people of Jamaican heritage and connections have had at the highest level of American politics. We can be justly proud of Kamala Harris, the first female vice president of the United States, who is also vying to be the first female president. Hers is the most unlikely of success stories, made more so by the fact that her father, Professor Don Harris, is a black Jamaican. But how many of you listening know that she is not the first person of Jamaican heritage or connection to serve as vice president? George Mifflin Dallas, the 11th vice president from 1845 to 1849 to Democratic President James Polk, had family roots in Jamaica. His father, Alexander Dallas, was born in Kingston on June 21, 1759. George's grandfather, Dr. Robert Dallas, a wealthy land baron of Scottish descent, owned over 900 acres of land and 91 slaves in Dallas Castle, the district named after him. He left Jamaica in 1764 after mortgaging his estate. His grandson, Vice President George Mifflin Dallas, was born in Philadelphia, July 10, 1772. An interesting footnote: the great American city, Dallas in Texas, is believed to have been named for an early settler, Joseph Dallas, or in honor of his great-grandson, George Mifflin Dallas. Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman to be elected to the U.S. Congress in 1968 and to run for the Democratic Party presidential nomination, also had a connection with Jamaica. Born in Brooklyn, New York, to Barbadian and Guyanese immigrants, her first husband, Conrad Chisholm, to whom she was married from 1949 to 1977, was born in Jamaica to John and Zilla Chisholm. My older brother, Clayton Morgan, says he has childhood memories of Conrad and Shirley Chisholm visiting Summer Hill, a remote district in the hills of St. James, to visit Conrad's first cousin, who was a teacher at the Malden Primary School. Skipping to more recent times, the immortal Sheila Jackson, who represented the 18th Congressional District of Texas from 1995 until her untimely death in 2024, was a proud member of the Jamaican diaspora. Born in Brooklyn, New York, her father, Ezra Clyde Jackson, was the son of Jamaican immigrants. Winsome Sears, the 42nd and current Lieutenant Governor of Virginia since 2021, is a born Jamaican. Lieutenant Governor Sears was born in Kingston in 1964. She emigrated with her parents at age 6. Finally, there is Wes Moore, the first black and current governor of the great state of Maryland since 2023. He proudly declares his Jamaican heritage, his mother, Joy Moore, having been born in Jamaica. It should come as no surprise then that Kamala Harris, among a number of firsts in her storied career, has risen to striking distance of being elected President of the United States of America. The only thing left for Jamaicans to do is to build a yard same way you build abroad. Think on these things.
Produced by Agency for Inner City Renewal, AIR, and recorded in the Jamming Studio Trenchtown, a breath of fresh air bringing change to the inner city.
Get ready, Ocherios! Express Fitness is coming to the Draxall Commercial Complex on August 31, 2024 with exciting perks just for you. Our gym will be open 24/7, offering state-of-the-art equipment and complete with showers and secured parking. Experience a variety of group fitness classes and become part of our supportive FitFam community. Don't miss out on this fitness revolution. Join us at Express Fitness in the Draxall Commercial Complex. Visit our website or call 1-888-FITNESS for pre-opening specials. Express Fitness, express your best self.
E-Zone is broadcasting from the Hart College of Construction Services in St. Catherine, Portmore on August 27, 2024. The Minister of Labor and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr., is hosting an initiative under the theme Rebuild Jamaica, distribution of cash grants to individuals affected by Hurricane Beryl. Minister Charles Jr. will spearhead the continued distribution of cash grants to beneficiaries of the Rebuild Jamaica initiative. Visit the Hart College of Construction in Portmore if you've been impacted by Hurricane Beryl. That's a live broadcast of E-Zone from 3 to 5 p.m. on August 27, 2024. Beryl victims, come to Hart College of Construction Services for your grants and catch E-Zone's live broadcast. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
7:33, and we're taking your calls. The numbers, as always, are 630-937-124 and 618-8255. Keisha, you're on the line. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. I
Good
heard
evening.
regarding life, but I don't sure to the next episode.
My name is Cliff Hughes, Nick.
Oh,
Keisha.
Mr. Hughes, I'm so sorry, sir. Good evening, my darling. How was that?
I'm alive and well.
Okay, Mr. Hughes. And first of all, before I get into what I call about, I just want to take the time out to give my congratulations to Dr. Nigel Clark and his new appointment to the IMF, Mr. Hughes. Chris Martin have a song that said it's a big deal.
Yes.
Yes,
It
sir.
is. It's a
And
huge
it's
deal.
a good look for Jamaica and by extension the Caribbean.
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Hughes, what we call about, oh boy, Mr. Hughes, I have an unfortunate situation today. I know Mr. Hughes, when I come to you, come complain to you. You know that, right?
Uh-huh.
But we have a very unfortunate situation today, Mr. Hughes. I don't think I could have just go on my bed and I don't put it out in the public because there are times, Mr. Hughes, when things happen, people get a little piece of video, they don't know where to start from, and they get a little piece of video, and then they end up forming an opinion based on what they saw in a video, right?
Yes.
So listen to Mr. Hughes. Today was my son's orientation, right? He's 9 years old. And after he finished his orientation, because it was just yesterday, Mr. Hughes, after I have so many appointments for today, it was just yesterday the school posted in the WhatsApp group that is today's orientation. So I went for the orientation, Mr. Hughes. I went to the bookstore at the all over Mr. Hughes, and then after I finished, he has an appointment at a particular health clinic. No, so you know, don't call me, so I never call the clinic name. If you just have to call it, then I will call it, right? So, Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
When I went to the clinic, the father was there with me. I was a smaller boy and the 9-year-old one. So while he was sitting there, the father said he's going outside to buy a biscuit for him. He got up behind his father and he went out with his father. When I was sitting there, it was exactly 5 o'clock, so he said, I have to listen to Nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to disturb nobody. I have my headphone, put in my headphone and have it in my ears. When I hear coming through the door, I heard some female, no male, all female, Mr. Hughes. And they were coming through the door and I heard somebody say, if I'm me, I would have killed him. If I'm me, Mr. I would have boxed him down. And Mr. Hughes, it goes on and on and on and on. I don't know what these people are talking about. So because I don't know what I'm talking about, I spoke to Spanish and News. Then my son came in, Mr. Hughes, sat beside me. But the way he sat in the seat, Mr. Hughes, I realized something wasn't right. So I touched him on his shoulder and I said, what happened to you? All right? He didn't answer. When I touched him on his shoulder, I realized his shoulder dropped. So I said to him, what happened? And he started to explain a situation that happened on the outside because the father went out to buy something. When the father pulled the ice and Mr. Hughes, everything threw away. And he said that the father was laughing and like the father was saying that he didn't buy anything or something. So he got angry and he had a juice in his hand and he dropped the juice. And Mr. Hughes, that is the situation, And Mr. Hughes, if you ever hear how the people them handle the little boy, when the father came in and sat down, they come around the father. They said, Daddy, if I'm me, I would have killed him. Daddy, if I'm me, and they were just, when I can't I don't know, cheering on the father what kind of assault to instill And a 9-year-old boy, Mr. Hughes, I got to hold if a boy will witness murder, They a hunting session, When he go on the road, Mr. Hughes, if he spend the entire day in free court. And Mr. Hughes, you know why it was pretty surprising for me? Some of these persons that was behaving in that manner, they were nurse aides.
So he just dropped the juice and did it splash on anyone? Or?
No, it didn't splash on anyone, But he was crying. But when he came out, which was I with him, he wasn't crying. But when they were coming in now, I heard some females were saying if I didn't what they would have done. But I don't know who they were talking about, so I didn't pay too much mind. It's when the father came in and sit down. So the father told him, I said, what do you want to do? You don't want to kill down? You don't want to kill him? What do you want to do? Mr. Hughes, one of the very same guys that were saying, the father flick him down. By this, because they were bullying the little boy, The boy gets angry, I fell on the ground and started crying. So I tell him to get up and he stand up behind my bench. Mr. Hughes, one of the very same lady is she that was advancing to the little boy. And I have to say, listen, leave him. Don't put your hand on him and don't touch him. And Mr. Hughes, when I said that, they said to me, oh, are you Breaking Bad? And they were questioning my parenting. And Mr. Hughes, I really lost it. I really lost it. These are nurses that work at a clinic. I'm a fact, I can put it on here. Glen Vincent in Crossroad.
Yeah. Why?
I could not believe it. No wonder why this country, no, why these little kids are so violent.
Why? We can't resolve issues without resorting to violence,
Mr. You just hear the people them, and I hope that when they put out the video, they don't edit it if they have it, When I asked the father who were those people, he said to me that one was a nurse aide. He never edit to me now, Mr. Hughes. Because I was waiting for the boy's turn to go in. He said she came out, she threw a word, she went back in, she came out, she threw a word. So I said, how you dare question my parenting? You see the child behaving that way, you don't know what happened, and you're going to question my, security guard, take her out, put her outside. The security guard was very smart, the security guard did not move an inch.
Bye.
Mr. Hughes, 10 people were at a children project, a picnic on it. And they are so violent and were cheering on the father what to do to the picnic there.
Yeah, that's it. We teach our children violence and then we ask, why are they so violent?
And then they have a question, my parents, me have a 20-year-old daughter, Mr. Hughes. Nobody has ever school. She has gone through all school. Nobody ever, Mr. Hughes has grown nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters. Nobody has ever bring my parenting into question.
All right, Keisha. What?
And I'm going to go speak to the people. They're going to see me on a video. I'm going to see me on the other way. But I apologize. I really lose it. But these people should never meant to be around. Not even dog. And not even dog the street. So that's it for me, Mr. Hughes.
All right, Keisha. Take care.
That's a good night, Keisha. Willow, good evening.
Good evening, Siobhan.
Yes.
Yeah, man, good evening. Cliff.
Good evening, Willow. Good evening.
How go on?
I'm good.
Well, I want to say congratulations to Santa Claus. Nigel, well, he's a big miss. Big miss. Why, you don't know how we're going to get no new tax. Why?
I don't think that policy might... I don't think the policy is just going to change just because of a new finance minister.
Well,
I see your thing.
he has laid down a marker.
Yeah, man.
Whoever follows him going to have a big challenge,
Cliff, that shoes, I don't know who's going to fit it, boy.
Yes.
Yeah, boy, that is just shoes that it's going to be hard to fit. I think the PNP should be happy, but they don't look like they're happy, then start to worry. Yeah, or the country going to run, that means the country was running good. Because I hear them come out now. I think it's Julian, or Campbell. I said, how the country going to run the economy and all of that, I think they should be happy because they should be saying who's going to come in, not going to fill that slot. So everything would be working good for them for the next general election. But them look like they're not happy. That means the country was running good place. That means he was doing a good job. He was doing a good job. Yeah. But Cliff.
Yes, sir.
The thing I'm call you for talk about, because you never get no time to talk about it this morning because of Nigel and what the high and him going to the IMF. Because a man in time I'm dying to hear you and that, you know. And you tell my good friend, Papa Nana, say, boy, you have that on your agenda this morning. The diaspora.
Oh,
the people in the diaspora. Yes. No why you give me a little highlight because me can't get to follow it because anytime me there on the road at the time. Me just have to put in my earpiece and listen to you on the radio. So, I want you highlight me. Because they may come out and they might demonstrate and they might do all these things. And, boy, me never know, say, it was politically aligned.
Oh, you mean you never know, say, it politically aligned?
No, Cliff, me I tell you the truth. Me never know, say, it was politically aligned.
So you think they were just being
good
Jamaicans thinking about their country in an independent way?
Yes, I think it was that.
But you're very smart.
There were certain things that they start to do that I really start to think. Because me I say, boy,
you're naive.
I am in Jamaica, and what they were talking about, me not see it. I don't see it. So I never know that it was a campaign for the PNP. She's on P-Most, boy. I never knew it was a campaign. But I was on social media and this person talking about a financial company now. Because I know about Bunting, Deering, and Golden. But I never know about Proven.
I don't know about Proven. Yeah?
Yes, that is what I don't know about.
I don't know of them being involved.
They were talking things about Proven.
But what is coming out is that there's a split. Yes, there's a split in the diaspora groups who were what is the word, Siobhan? Who had beef with the Holness administration. Yeah.
Okay.
And to the surprise of many people, we now hear the group is falling apart. It is divided.
Okay.
One prominent member of the group, Rattigan, declared that he has resigned from the Global Jamaica Diaspora Organization he recently co-founded. The organization has been active in recent months in organizing protests overseas, mainly in the United States, against the government. And now we hear on several posts online, Rattigan is rejecting allegations of malfeasance on his part involving money. And we had a report this morning that I was going to play from Dana Davey, where Rattigan is also raising what he says is a concern that a senior member of the breakaway diaspora group is involved in organized crime in Jamaica.
An open war has exploded among breakaway diaspora groups whose leadership has been lashing out against the government of Jamaica overseas. For weeks, allegations have been made on social media suggesting that a senior member of the breakaway diaspora groups, Wilfred Rattigan, pocketed funds earmarked for the groups. Rattigan took to his YouTube channel on the weekend and denied the allegations, which he noted were being leveled by former allies who he invited into his home and one he broke bread with. He also accused the leader of the GJDC, Dr. Rupert Francis, of incompetence. Rattigan also announced that he was walking away from 3 breakaway diaspora groups led by Dr. Francis.
I have resigned from the
Global Jamaica Diaspora Council that is registered in Connecticut, Florida, and with the IRS. I have also disassociated myself from the Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force, and also the Call to Action Group. Now, recently, a group of my colleagues and friends saw it fit to publish scandalous lies and misrepresentations about me and the affairs of the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. This was disappointing because whatever the issue was, it could have been handled behind closed doors. I've sat back and watched the hatchet job being done by those whom I've been closely affiliated with and others.
Rattigan also rejected suggestions that he was responsible for taking possession of missing funds.
On a Sunday program, identified me as a person who received the now infamous brown paper bag of money that was believed to contain more than $1,200, some of which was contributed for the foundation. He was present at the meeting that I called to determine the whereabouts of this brown paper bag. Why? A donor, a supporter told me that days after, told me that a bag went around, money went in the bag for the foundation. And I said, I don't know anything about it. I called the meeting.
Rattigan also dismissed allegations from his former allies that he paid out funds without authorization to attorney-at-law, the PNP's Isat Buchanan.
It's been said that I paid ISAT $9,000. Now, ISAT has never received a cent from the foundation. The records are there. The only case financed by the foundation is the Kamina Johnson case. And guess what? The board approved it on October 25th, 2023. People, there's something terribly wrong. There's something terribly wrong here.
Rattigan lamented that his former allies at the GJDC were attempting to get a group he founded deregistered by the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, which is the revenue service for the United States federal government. And in a stunning turn of events, Rattigan, who had touted himself as a former FBI agent, said he has received word that a member of the GJDC has been involved in murders and organized crime in Jamaica.
I was recently told that Mr. in a telephone conversation with an individual in Jamaica stated that was involved in the Green Bay massacre and also several killings in the Waterhouse area. Now, I have been told that there are victim families in the Olympic Gardens and Waterhouse areas who would like to meet with to ask about the demise of their loved ones. I was also asked to broker this event, and I refused.
Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
No, you
House
listen to
of
that.
Cards.
Tumbling down. Yes.
Yeah,
when your motives are not pure, these things happen. And they're turning on each other now like I don't know what.
Well, Cliff, there are more things going to come out, come in the light. Because what in darkness will come to light. Let me tell you, Cliff, what in darkness must come to light. I'm glad I hear because I was listening this morning, but because of Nigel, you never get to bring it. And I'm glad that I hear it now, and Jamaican people hear it.
Well, it has, I don't think we are breaking any new ground on this one,
I know,
because this has been all over. This every time you go on YouTube, it's
really
there.
came to light over the weekend, Friday heading into the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, but Cliff, there's a lot of people don't have the social media.
Oh,
they have to depend on you.
No, sir.
Yes, man, may I tell you, a lot of people don't have social media, Cliff. A lot of people don't have social media. Have to listen to your radio. Listen to them radio. Yeah. I'm glad that you bring it to light. Yeah. And there are more things going to come to light, Cliff. More things. A lot of things going on in Jamaica today. You're frightened if you know.
Yes.
You're frightened if you know, Cliff.
What is surprising is that, the behind the scenes, who is financing who, and when you hear them, you think they come from a genuine place of concern about Jamaica, only to now see it out in the open.
Yeah.
They have their agendas.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, sir, enough of them. All right. 9 minutes to 8 o'clock. Richard, good evening.
Mr. Hughes, good afternoon at your house.
Good evening.
The flow, they had been swept under the radar, because nobody really looking at them, because for 2 weeks I had call it 14 days, no internet service. So they said, you have to pay the full amount for the month, and then we'll rebate you for that. But what percentage, and how did they work out that rebate? Because if you have service for 14 days, There shouldn't you be aware of what the calculation is like?
What are you asking me, Richard? What are you asking me? Why are you asking me that?
I'm saying, Mr. Hughes, Flo said pay the full amount for July when we didn't have internet service for most of the month. When you pay that, the next bill they're going to rebate you some money. What calculation is used for us to know that, well, what is the calculation? Because if you pay the full month, for next month you should see a reduction, or what level of reduction should it be?
Next time you go to Flo, you ask them. 'Cause I don't know, won't expect me to know the answer to that? Or Siobhan?
Mr. Hughes,
yes?
I got to tell you something, sir. Me and social media, you know. And when me hear certain things that your station, me come forget verification.
No, well, let me tell you something. No, give me more than what me can bear. Don't ask me foolishness. How me if you know that?
Me come to your station, me get clarification, because and everything me see on social media, me believe.
Well, and everything we know.
But you're the expert, Mr.
Me know expert on what?
Everything, man.
No.
What do you mean, say no? Then why you think so much people have so much confidence in you to get problems solved?
Next point.
That's basically what I want to say. Yes.
What you should do, Richard.
I'm glad to see that Jamaica can produce quality people both in teaching, medical, and the great Niger Clark that the world sought after us, you know.
Yes.
Just like our athlete. My respect, sir.
Yes. And next time you ask Flo.
Mr. You know, in a sense, you call customer service. You know. When you go down the Flo office...
But Flo customer service, that's 6 Bradley Avenue.
Yeah, but when you go to the office, the long wait, and then, you know, when you go up there, they might rush you. You know, and they have attitude and you know, me not them foolish, you know. Quality service.
Well, now ask me.
I used to live in Dominica Republic, and I tell you, Mr. Hughes, the service and the respect that you get as a customer is unbelievable. I don't see it here in Jamaica. So we have to shape up.
Yes, you're a customer, Flo. You ask them.
All right, sir. My respect.
All right, sir. Good. Cleveland. Good evening.
Yes, Mr. Hughes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Siobhan,
Cleveland, how you doing?
So, Siobhan and Mr. Hughes, the Black Royal gone to the top of the highest post in the financial world.
I was expecting someone to come on and say that.
Yeah. Black royalty. Black royalty.
Yes, man. Who would say it again?
No, it Garnet Rope and Peter Bunting.
No. Black Royal gone to the highest post.
Yes.
Yes. But you know, it not surprised me. All the while I said to myself, I said, this gentleman can work in the highest financial system in this world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And give it that type of impression that, you know, him know it.
Yes.
You know. Yes. But I keep hearing the PMP, you know, think it's time for the PMP stop saying the economy is declining. Because they know it's not true. They keep
there's
saying
a crisis.
Them
there's a
benefiting
crisis
from it.
in the economy. I don't know where's that crisis. Huh? Where's that crisis?
I just see Julian on TV saying that.
Well, I learned something today when we were preparing the 5 o'clock. Nigel Clark graduated from UA with a first-class honors in maths and computer science. And he was the #1 student in his year right across the entire regional university, that is the University of the West Indies.
The original.
He won the prize for the best degree with the highest marks among students in the Faculty of Natural Sciences across all campuses in 1992. Yeah. That means he was the best across the entire university for the natural science faculty. And he went on to win a Rhodes Scholarship and earned a PhD in numerical analysis from Oxford. Yeah, I didn't know that.
May I tell you, Mr. Hughes? But, you know, I'm happy for him, but I'm not sure the people in Northwest St. Andrew will be happy to see him going. And Whoever I hear they put in say will run.
No,
Trust
Dwayne,
me.
Dwayne.
That man going to have to pull up him socks.
That is Dwayne Smith.
Yes, sir.
Derek's son.
Yes, sir. The people them complain hard because there is my walking here right now, Chancellor Hall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And them talk hard against him.
Against
me feel
who?
bad sometimes.
Against who?
You know.
Against
Dwayne. Dwayne, let me talk it, let him hear.
Oh, he's missing in action?
They give you that impression.
Oh.
And at one time he was having some problem, and I had to say something to him, but I hope he will understand.
Mm-hmm.
The people them need to see him and feel him that him doing something and him there, that him know what's going on.
Yes.
See? And he must go to the community meeting, them places where have their association meeting, he must be there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not afraid of them. Just go and sit and whatever little, understand you can get off their problem and, what you can do to help.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Wow.
But just before I come off, Mr. Hughes,
let
me say hi to Kamisha. I was at a funeral up in Redis Saturday, and I don't know, I seemed like I passed a car where they hear my voice, and this nice little young lady run me down to come find out if I'm near Cleveland. She was so happy.
She hear you on nationwide,
man. The name.
Oh. All right, Cleveland, gotta go.
All right, take care.
Take care. That's how we're going to leave it for this evening. Thanks to all of our callers, our YouTubers, our WhatsAppers, and our tweets. Thanks to our producer, Dana Davey, and of course our technical operator, Andrew Anderson. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Reminding you, take care of your loved one and look out for your neighbor. Good night.
You've weathered the storm, but rebuilding and preparing